The world is a wonderful place with lots of things to see and lots of things to touch and lots of things to smell and lots of things to taste. But there are some things that can make you sick, called poison.
Oh my, not a full-on danger alert, but there does appear to be an alarming increase in children mistaking medicine for candy.
Poison. 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 Poison dart, straight to the heart, mate. Now a sound boy won't partake. It's not a game, you know, arcade. I shoot like a cupid, I'm causing them heartache. Cry me a river, like your last day. I was a sinner, but that's in the past, mate. We don't talk no more. What's going on now? You never wanna parlay. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. No one mentioned, no one named. And I move on the track like a high-speed train that is never derailed by leaf nor rain. Relentless on a long campaign. Darts of fire with a pinpoint aim. My METHOD of delivery to bring you the pain. Poison dart, straight to the heart. And this rhythm's gonna tear them apart. Oh, my beats has mastered the craft. Take it back from the ends of the start. Poison dart, straight to the heart. This rhythm's gonna tear them apart. No one escapes the force of the blast. And the bumps are below, the first shall be last. Poison, 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 poison. Darts might tear through armored plates, accelerator alarming race, and wipe a smile off a charming face, then stop the war by disarming states. Like whoa, stop. Who broke the ceasefire? Grab the mic lead and choke the town crier. No matter what transpire, I slice through beef just like cheese wire. Rain on them with a heavy artillery. Painstaking workplace, sickest delivery. Leaving them seeking a seizure, bulging veins. Capillaries enter the bloodstream intravenously. Rhyme schemes infect you seamlessly. No vaccine, conveniently. Fatalities are occurring frequently. Poison darts straight to the heart, and this rhythm's gonna tear them apart. Oh, my beats has mastered the craft. Take it back from the end to the start. Poison darts straight to the heart. This rhythm's gonna tear them apart. No one escapes the force of the blast. And the bumps are below, the first shall be last. Poisonous, new forms more lethal. Evil spawn infects more people. They write the law, so it's legal. The poison dart is a nurse's needle. Shot first from a GP's pen. Chosen first from the DSM to target women, children and men. So there's a remedy for defense. The reality gets much worse. Sick minds no less than perverse. They pay on the vaccine to fatten the purse. 6 months before the outbreak's rehearsed. Think about it. Let's make things clear. Inside the mind's the final frontier. Our demise has been engineered, so seek the truth or succumb to the fear. Poison darts straight to the heart, and this rhythm's gonna tear them apart. Oh, my beats has mastered the craft. Take it back from the end to the start. Poison darts straight to the heart. This rhythm's gonna tear them apart. No one escapes the force of the blast. And the bumps are below, the first shall be last.
Get some everyone to be second. Very soon now, the drug will cause the subject to experience death-like paralysis, together with deep feelings of terror and helplessness.
Asleep and awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free. Put it all together now or be lost in reality. Asleep and awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free. Put it all together now or be lost in reality.
It's like this. You walk around with your eyes shut. Oblivious to the truth, you don't know what's up. It's like a dreamscape, but in a waking state, you're all plugged in. There's no need to concentrate. Are you asleep or are you awake? This is the density where your body holds weight. The computer program, you've all got to break. This is important shit, man. Your lives are at stake. I won't bow to reptilian minions. Masters of the matrix controlling the billions. The clock's ticking, raising the stakes up. Waiting for the day that the human race wakes up. Well, I woke up, I opened my eyes. Now I see clearly through the deceit and lies. To my surprise, the world is an illusion. A closely knit web designed for confusion.
Awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free. Put it all together now or be lost in reality. And awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free. Put it all together now or be lost in reality.
Run this, man. Ain't fucking about anymore, fam. It's fucking high time these pussies listen, man. Yo, hey yo, it's high time. Stop living life blind. The further you fall, yo, the higher I climb. If your feet stop flush, you're in the the firing line. It's hard to stand up when you've got no spine. Fucking slobs, your legs are like jelly. Your soul's been sucked up straight through the telly. Don't believe what you see on the screens, cause the world that we live in is not quite what it seems. Fucking parasites that breach every one of our human rights. They think it's fucking change, playing games in people's lives. These are the people who are supposed to revive a nation built on jealousy, greed, anger and lies. Yo, the biggest influence of life has to be greed. Everybody buying shit that they don't really need. You better follow the fashion, keep up to the speed. Fatten up that monster you continue to feed.
Asleep and awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free. Put it all together now or be lost in reality. Asleep and awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free. Put it all together now or be lost in reality.
I see it every day, yo. I read it every day. I see it every day, yo. I read it every day.
If we free our minds, then the rest will follow. Living on today on the time that is borrowed. I feel it in my blood, feel it in my bone marrow. The grim man's come to reap among the shadows of our former selves. Production of the media, religion and wealth. Hysteria, they're feeding us around on our house. Swine flu with the vaccine flying off shelves. It's apparent to me we're being taken for fools. More I open my eyes, the more I see it for sure. And you gotta be wise, life is ever so cruel. So I'm gonna live mine by my own set of rules. So fuck what they say now, fuck what you see. Fuck all that bullshit they put on TV. In a world that's obsessed with the paparazzi, you're the only one who can set yourself free.
And awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free. Put it all together now or be lost in reality. And awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free. Put it all together now or be lost in reality.
Yeah, for all the dilly ass fuckers out there, this one's for you. I see you talking, but nothing's coming out. From the flourish of a seed, one made to believe everything we hear on radio, what's on TV. Feasibly, easily joined by media makeup. Societies of blood in a comedy can't wake up. It's time to break up this network of lies. I delved a little deeper, then I start to realize the sin is all around me like the devil in disguise. Let me wake you from your slumber, let me open up your eyes. So you sit down in front of the flat screen. You blaze up and then you kick back lean. Subliminally joining just like a crack thing. Next thing you're down a clinic, Botox and HP. And you didn't even want it in the first place. That's your first taste of your first disgrace. You can get hurt away from what you heard today. Or war with the guts, so turn or stay.
Sleep and awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free. Put it all together now or be lost in reality. Sleep and awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free.
How do I put it? It was like, what do you care about them? What do you care about those people? What difference does it make to you? Take care of your own life. Do the best you can for you and your family. What do the rest of the people mean to you? They don't mean anything to you. They're just serfs. They're just people. You know, what's the end goal? The end goal is to get everybody chipped, to control the whole society. They want a one-world government, controlled by them. Everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip.
One, two, it's Friday night, and that usually means one thing. You are in tune to the one and only
Rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above.
Welcome back, Andy PG.
What's going on, Lars? Word to your nan.
Word to your nan, indeed. Big shout out to everyone that's tuned in nice and early. We know like the sun is still shining outside and we have this earlier start time of 8 p.m. now. We'd like to thank you for joining us for the entire show. Big shout out to Kieran D, IDM Ad, Pamela Swan, Kyle Rattigan. I've seen Ryan Sanders is in the chat already as well.
Becky S Investigates is here.
Big shout out to Becky S.
Pamela Swan, the regulars, Dime Bar.
Yeah, so we've had a little break, guys. We didn't record any live videos for 2 weeks or any Patreon. So normally when we have a break from the live show, I'm saying, haha, Patreon gang didn't miss out. But we had a break from that too. Big shout out to everyone that's supporting us on Patreon. Yeah, we've got a really cool guest tonight. He's going to be joining us at about 20 minutes past. Big shout out to Indigo. It's going to be an explosive chat. We're going to be doing all of the hot topics at the moment, and we're going to be getting his take on some of these things. So we're very much looking forward to chatting to Indigo.
Sounds like a well-informed gentleman from what I've seen.
Yes, this guy knows his stuff. So we're really looking forward to that in just over 10 minutes. Now.
And that is correct. I just assumed his gender.
Yes. The last live we did was the hotel inspector. It was an awesome chat with a guy who's on the front line. And I hate to say it once again, that's us here, myself, Andy PG, being well ahead of the curve, tackling this subject head on for quite a long time. And guess what is coming to the pinnacle of everything right now? So, yeah, you can thank us for banging on about the same old thing for ages, way before it became relevant. But people that watch Rise Above know that that is a recurring pattern, not because we're prophets or we can see the future or anything like that.
That's because we get it from the moon.
It's because we're paying very close attention. Yeah, so big shout to AY Audits. Next week, we are back with another live 2 weeks in a row. We're really going to be spoiling you on the 1st of August. Human Vibration is back with her, what's going to be very controversial. Very controversial. The Big Lie. It's a presentation about the Nazis and World War II.
Wow, Michael.
Probably should put that one on Patreon, as I've mentioned before, but we're going to be risky and have it Friday night on YouTube. That's the way we're doing it nowadays. Big shout out to Human Vibration. Really looking forward to that. And then the next live on the 15th of August. Look how hard we've been working in the background to get these lives lined up for you guys. Guy Anderson at Rise of the Clones. This dude has been on Sheep Farm. So he's doing the rounds. He's doing the Ramish rounds, you know?
Yeah, man.
You go on Rise Above, you go on Sheep Farm, vice versa. That's how it works. We're very, very excited about this. I've only read this guy's Facebook post. I haven't read his books yet. His Facebook posts are very well written and they're pretty explosives. And he's bringing a little something extra to the to this narrative about the Cabbage Patch Kids, Tesla, Antiquitech cloning, Tartaria. Very interesting guy. Looking forward to this.
He's into his Tartaria, is he?
Yes, he is. He's written.
I just realised I had the overlay up there. I
right.
See your wonderful thumbnail.
Yes, please, everyone, appreciate my thumbnail. So those
are Jews in the background there.
You could potentially. They could, but certainly members of the Black Cube organisation in some respect, Andy PG. So yeah, okay. Obviously, we need to do our normal shout to our sponsors, which is Dr. Kimchi, and also to Liberty Silver Designs. Here's their QR code if you want any silver jewellery. Big shout to our sponsors and our affiliates.
I'm wearing some here.
Are you? Let's just get the camera up so everyone can see it.
Ramish pendant here.
What kind of Ramish pendant
drape
are you wearing?
it over my hand like a...
like a jeweler. Like, here
heavy.
it is. Like here it is.
Feel the weight. Oh.
Feel the weight. How heavy is that?
I think this is 17 grams. No, this is more than this. I can't remember.
It's got to be at
they've
least
given
an
us like an ounce and a half of silver each.
Yeah, I thought it was about half an ounce or something like that.
When your money's no good and we're schmelting stuff, I'll use it.
Okay.
The great schmelt.
Guys, it is only 4 weeks until the next Rise Above meetup. For anyone that's been to one of our meetups before, you know there's something special. We do push the boat out. It's not just about the talks or the guests or the live podcast or whatever we're putting on for you. It's about the community. It's about getting together. 4 weeks away, we are taking over the Celebrity Hotel in Bournemouth.
Once again
for our second weekender, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Martin Leaker is our main guest. He's going to be doing multiple presentations over the weekend. You know those are going to be good.
Gosh.
Apart from that, Martin's an absolute legend in real life, and he's a great fun guy to party with as well. And obviously, our events,
the life of the party, Michael.
Our events are always a party too. So, what else is involved in the Rise Above Weekender? There is, as well as talks, we've got the Raw Academy, so there's the learning portal as well, so we can have smaller classroom-based learning experiences. We've got speed dating, nightly after parties with DJs, performers during the day, and it's in a hotel in the centre of Bournemouth, 5 minutes from the train station, 5 minutes from the bus station, and the beach, and tickets start at only £15. The whole weekend with everything included is £50. It's a bargain, and there are still tickets available. There's even still rooms in the hotel. So if you haven't got anything to do on August bank holiday, Get to the website. Let me put the QR code on the screen
Should
right
we give
now.
some tickets away, Michael?
Oh yeah, let's give 2 tickets away tonight. I'll tell you what.
Should we do it?
Right now, the next person to email us at riseabovelivestream@gmail.com. Let me get it on the thingy here. Where is it? Here we go. Email riseabovelivestream@gmail.com. The next person to email in and say, I would like 2 tickets to your event, you're going to get 2 tickets on the guest list.
Wow, that easy.
That easy.
That
Just
easy.
email us. First come, first served. You're going to have to be quick. The next person to email us in, Andy PG, is monitoring the emails.
Wow.
You go straight on the guest list, 2 full weekend tickets.
That's nice, and you haven't even got to do anything.
You haven't even got to do anything. You've just got to send an email. You haven't got to sign up to Patreon, nothing. Just send us an email. We're feeling generous.
That's nice of you, Lance.
Thank you. I thought I'd give something back to the community. You can see we've got a rough timetable here. I've worked out the entire schedule for the weekend. Oh, yeah. Archaics is joining us as well virtually to chat with Martin. And our other guest, allegedly Dave.
This is a holographic construct.
Wisdom of Mushrooms is doing workshops over the weekend that have been super popular at past events.
Raw.
We've also got Graham Moore, Daddy Dragon, doing the full English constitutional law seminar with all of the bells and whistles. We've got DJs, Tom Dubious. We've got Ryan Sanders, Inspector Veg.
Everyone's favourite.
Everyone's favourites.
Everyone's favourites.
And so much more. It's going to be a blast. Go to the website, riseabove.tv, and get your tickets. Let me just put that back on the screen.
Inspector Veg and Ryan Sanders going to have a remix of the Christian Reich with organic vegetables.
Yep. Johnny Fogg, our main meme guy, is also coming down with his guitar. He's going to be entertaining people, I think, on Sunday.
Nice.
Magic's doing his boomer disco every night.
He's got a lovely voice, has Johnny Fogg.
Yes, he has. That's
I've
right.
heard, I've seen his social media. He's got a wonderful voice.
Right, we've only got 3 minutes until we speak to our guest, so we need to let you know, get your tickets, Rise Above Hotel Weekender. Now, we always have the merch shop at the Weekender with exclusive garms that aren't available on the website, garms you've never seen before, and this time is going to be no different. I have finalised my Black Cube organisation word map.
Wow, we've got a winner here, Michael.
Oh.
We have a winner. FR Promotions.
FR Promotions.
There you go.
Congratulations, you have won 2 tickets.
2 tickets, please. In a close second there, it was Kimmy Kim. Close second. Very close.
I'll tell you what.
You're not. Are you going to do it?
Fuck it, they can both have it. They can both have 2 tickets. Email me back with the names. Email me back with the names, and you'll get on the guest list.
You are feeling like the opposite of Jewish.
I'm feeling very anti-Semitic.
Antiseptic.
Antiseptic. So this is my own design here. This is going to be available on t-shirts.
Racist.
Yeah, I would say it probably is. This is the Black Cube organisation word map. It is a schematic representation of the control system. Schismatic. And also, this is Andy PG's first t-shirt commission. Word to Your Nan is going to be available for the very first time on t-shirts in multiple different colours at the Weekender. So you literally have to be there to get it. Get onto our Patreon, guys, because there is so much content on Patreon you are not getting on the YouTube.
Some fucking amazing watch parties we've done the last.
Oh my goodness! There is content.
Shout out to my man Nick Griffin.
Wow.
Yo, it's Mr. Traumatic.
No, not you.
The problem is you're a fucking retard.
Okay, so £3 a month, you get 2 videos a week. You'll get to see the Baywatch special where me and Andy PG went down to the beach and started interviewing the peasants.
Started heckling people.
An hour and a
megaphone.
half that video is, and it's all fresh content that no one's seen before. So yeah, just get onto Patreon and stop mucking around. You won't be disappointed. Let me just get the QR code on the screen. Right. Just before we get our guest, I need to let you know what's going to be also coming up. We're going to be doing some more on the street stuff. It was very popular when we go outside with the camera and the microphone.
Wow, I had a great time.
It's very popular. It's a lot of fun as well.
So bit nervous to start with, weren't we?
Yeah, we've got to get into it.
A couple of drinks to loosen us up.
Once you get the megaphone out, you've had a few beers, it's fine.
Get the siren going.
The next time we're going to do this is on the 9th of August, which is in 2 weeks' time. We're going to be going to the peaceful protest at the Britannia and Roundhouse Hotel, Bournemouth. These are migrant hotels, obviously.
Right here, right now, is where we draw the line.
And I'll tell you straight off, we are going to be doing 3 things on this day. We're going to be trying to interview both sides of the protest.
Yes, we are. And seriously, we are.
We are going to be interviewing both sides of the protest. And we're going to give them both a fair chance.
And even if when we if we get to interview the kind of Antifa types there, even if they're full fucking retards, we're still going to try and be professional with them.
We will. We'll try. We might
try.
ask difficult questions.
Yeah, but we will try and be professional as best we can.
So that's our first aim. Our second aim is to observe and document the two-tier policing. I.e., we want to try and find or capture the police treating one side of the protest differently to the other and document it. So that's our second goal. And third, and possibly the most difficult, but maybe the most rewarding, we're going to be keeping an eagle eye for any agent provocateurs.
Yes, we are.
Any shills, any dodgy people.
Listen, right, we've already discussed this. We're going to have a small team around Bournemouth because we know the town inside out, right? There's only a few places where they can stop and kind of distribute peasants of Antifa without, like, you know, it being seen on a mass scale. We're gonna have people on watch in certain areas.
This is in our hometown.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to be on the ball. It's going to be an all-day operation. I've got a feeling, as well as taking AJ, our cameraman and media guy, we're also going to be streaming this live. Have I told you that yet?
No, I didn't
you
know
just
we
found
were
out.
streaming. No, I was just reading this from King of Sting here on the. Yeah, we'll put a pin in that, King of Sting. We'll get back to that,
Thanks,
mate.
King of Sting. Right, okay. I think. Let me just see. Oh yeah, and the other thing we're going to go to is Jew Dan Peterstein. He's coming to Bournemouth International Centre. We're not going to go and listen to him speak because I've already heard everything he's got to say anyway. But we're going to go there and maybe do some interviews.
Yeah, we're going to interview some people who are going, and
maybe there'll be some counter Peterstein protesters.
We're hoping
as well.
for some left wing
anti Peterstein. Right, give me some flames and explosions in the live chat.
146 peasants tuned in.
That's
live
not
and direct,
bad. We can
Friday
do better.
night.
We can do better. If you want us to get our guest on the line, Indigo, and start actually slicing the rabbit open, give us some flames, give us some explosions in the chat, please. And I will get on the phone to Indigo because we haven't got him on camera. We had some technical
AIX
difficulties.
glitches. Shout out to Sam Toroidal Dynamics. He's here in the chat, tuned in.
Of course, we forgot Toroidal Dynamics is also going to be doing a journey through breath and sound on the Friday night.
DJE Media.
DJE Media was in Bournemouth today at the Britannia Hotel, mate.
Yes.
All the auditors have been to Bournemouth today. I've been watching the videos.
Lance has audited the auditors.
I've been auditing the auditors, yeah. And apparently there's 3 new migrant hotels just opened in Bournemouth as well. Right, let's give.
I realise we're both wearing green tonight.
Are we?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna message Indigo to say ready. And then we'll call.
Plenty of flames there. The chat's
right. Let's fucking go.
Sufficiently alight.
Let's get Indigo. Oh no, that didn't work.
Guys, if you want to check out any work from Toroidal Dynamics, our wonderful friend Sam, an affiliate here on the show, there is a link here on the screen.
Yo, brother.
Indigo, welcome to Rise Above, bro.
Hey, made it happen.
We made it happen. Look, everyone in the live chat, can you just give us a thumbs up and let us know that you can hear Indigo loud and clear? And is he the same level as myself and PG? Say hello to Rise Above family, Indigo.
Well, go on, Rise Above. We finally made it happen. I'm on the phone, unfortunately, but I'm still here. You feel my energy.
Yeah. We have a visual representation of you on the screen as well, so people can see and hear. Let me just get some feedback. People are asking, does Indigo have any links? Don't worry, we'll sort you out. We'll sort you out the good stuff in a minute. Right, so, Indigo, first of all, before we get started, I'm just going to let you know some things about our show. We take a look at what's going on with no holds barred, dark comedy, and an occult understanding, as you already know, mate. But there's a couple of things we can't say on the show, and both of them are what happened in 2020. One begins with a C and sounds like Hovis, and the other one begins with a V and sounds like Maxine. Those 2 words, we use code words for them. You know the score, bro, but we always go through this at the start of the show.
Yeah.
Now, I've come across your videos recently, and I've really liked some of the things you had to say. For people that aren't familiar with you, give us a little lowdown about who you are, how long you've been, speaking out online, and how you came to where you are today.
First of all, just thank you for the platform. Thank you for the trust and for seeing me. It's amazing when men support men, so I just want to say that. Thank you. My name is Indigo. My kind of story was I was a catwalk model for 10 years, and just before the pandemic, I decided to step away because of the amount of abuse that I was going through. And then when the pandemic happened and that whole situation, I kind of realized that I'd already got a platform because of the modeling, and I wanted to start using that to speak about things that I really cared about. To be honest, the pandemic, it caught up with me. I was already, a lot of people became aware and awake at that time, but I was already on the front lines long before that. So it was an amazing opportunity to kind of use my platform and who I was as a model and use that to kind of speak out about the atrocities that I was seeing. I'm also a Buddhist, so I'm a young man's leader in London and in Kent, and I take my faith very serious.
I have a Buddhist amulet around my neck at the moment, which is from Suphanburi in Thailand, mate. So I'm quite close with Buddhism. I wouldn't say I'm a practicing Buddhist, but I have a lot of time for that school of thought.
Incredible. Yeah. It's a powerful philosophy, and a life doctrine for sure. But true Buddhism, not this stuff with the Dalai Lama and the Lama Foundation and all of their kiddie fiddling stuff. None of that. That's a false form of Buddhism.
So you've just told us that 2020 happened and you were already, however you want to put it, deep down the rabbit hole on the front line before it happened, and you saw an opportunity to use your platform for good.
Yeah.
Very similar to our story here at Rise Above, mate. This podcast was started in 2020 as a response to what was going on. Myself and Andy, we've been researching for decades.
What's going on, Indigo? How's it going?
Big Andy, I've been seeing you both.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Have you been checking out some of the content before you came on?
Do you know what? When we spoke about it, I came on live maybe like 3 weeks ago, and I've been watching bits and bobs. Just to make sure it suits my energy, and you definitely
he's done a little bit of recon.
Yeah, you've done some reconnaissance.
Yeah, man. Listen, we've got to take this serious. We're leaders of leaders. We've got a responsibility to make sure this information comes out correctly. So I try and take it serious.
Yeah. So when it all happened in 2020, before that, had you been vocal about let's say tinfoil subjects and things that outside of normal activism, things that regular people turn their nose up at and say, that's crazy shit. Were you already vocally on that tip in the public sphere or not?
So growing up, my cousin used to date Gareth Icke, David Icke's son.
Oh wow, Prince Gareth, King David's son. Yeah.
yeah. So from early, I was kind of just around that knowledge. I'm not a massive fan of David Icke, by the way. But from a young age, I was around that knowledge, and so it's kind of just been in me. And my mum was dating a Rasta man from young, and if you know about the Rasta men, man, they're fully on, decoding the Babylon system and stuff like that. So
sure,
it kind of came natural to me. I was speaking about the weather manipulation, and my mum's been quite an ill person all my life, and I've always been angry at the system for making her ill, the NHS, that kind of stuff. So it's already, I've just been a rebel long before the pandemic.
When you, so let me just assume that when 2020 happened, you saying you use your platform, you started going all out, exposing the hypocrisy, the lies, the psyops. How did that go down with your peers in the fashion industry?
So I lost about 2,000 followers maybe. At the start of that period in 2020, I was sitting on about 8,000 followers, and I lost about 2,000 followers in a week. But within about a month, I'd gained about 4,000. And that's when I realized, wow, okay, if I can and this is what my Buddhism teaches me, just be your authentic self. And that's what the world is looking for. People just you don't even have to agree with what I'm saying, but if you can tell that I'm just being my authentic self, and I know who I am, people will resonate. And I could start to see I was growing, and my message was getting further. And then when I really recognized that actually I think I need to become like a cultural commentator, that's what I call myself, was when George Floyd died. And I decoded that in about 5 minutes. And then the whole black community thought I was crazy, thought that I was a snake, thought I was going against Africa.
Were you a self-hating non-white person?
Am I a self?
Was that what you were?
Is that how you got labelled at the time?
Anyone who was, if you're, let's say, a Jewish person speaking out against Israel, they call them a self-hating Jew. Or if you're a African American who's speaking out against BLM, they label you a self-hating black man, kind of thing. So were you labelled that kind of thing after you?
I was labelled. One thing that people kept saying is simply because I was people thought I was trying to bring down black people. I was trying to bring down the struggle. I was trying to Because I called out Black Lives Matter instantly. You know, I connected it to George Soros. I recognized that it was just an opportunity to weaponize our trauma. You know, Black Lives Matter is all it is weaponizing our trauma, bringing us back to 1964, Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream. Like, they don't want us to be evolving. Humanity, it's not about color no more. But, so yeah, like at first, a lot of black people were like, you're a snake. They were calling me colonized. And that's when I really recognized, okay, a real lion stands alone. So if as long as my mum is proud of me, let the whole world call me what they want, because I know my truth. And as we know, years on now, I mean, if people still believe in Black Lives Matter, I don't understand where you've been, personally.
Yeah, there's no saving them at this point if they're still falling. Well, especially after, you know, everything that the racists or right wingers, you know, that said about Black Lives Matter.
Well, should we break it down real quick? I think
everything they said was true. You know, the women involved had bought multiple mansions.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a paper trail directly back to the Open Society Foundation to the tune of $33 million. And in fact, that was just the first check that they wrote to BLM.
Correct me if I'm wrong as well, Michael, but wasn't the one who got shot, she bought a mansion. I can't forget her name.
What was her name?
I can't remember her name, but the hypocrisy was that she bought, I believe she bought a mansion in the fucking whitest neighbourhood.
Yeah, a completely completely white neighbourhood.
It's just so fucking hypocritical.
And also, what was it again? There was an absolutely concrete solid statistic to show that every city that had Black Lives Matter demonstrations, not only did the crime level increase, the incarceration of black people, the level of that increased because the violence against police and therefore the violence back from police against the black people being violent to police all increased. So basically, wherever Black Lives Matter happened,
fucking powder keg, Michael.
It was just a disaster for black people.
Yeah.
So, and that's mate. I was doing exactly the same as you from the moment it started. I was just showing the receipts. This is an obvious psyop. This is Marxism repackaged as anti-racism. This is actually something. This is actually weaponizing the black community's emotions against them. And I was called, you know, a white supremacist, a racist, a right winger. Well, actually, if what I'm saying is true, I'm actually trying to help black people for not falling for this psyop, and loads of white people too. By the way, just as many white people fell for it.
You were just helping people, like
I was just generally helping people, not have their, you know, they're getting played like a fiddle, because that's what was happening. People's emotions were being played like a fiddle.
And this is the thing. This is how the occult manipulate us. Emotion. You have to rise above emotion, otherwise you're just going to get battered left to right, like you're in Wimbledon, you know, like on a tennis court. You have to rise above the emotion, because all of these black people, all they saw was a white man kill a black person. It was like it brought this rage, and I was thinking, is that how basic you are? Like, that's how basic your soul is. That a bit of emotion can enrage you, and like you just said, King, the violence and all of these different protests in the area, it's all like conquer and divide. Black against white, police against the public. And it's working a treat, to be honest.
Politics.
Thanks, Andy. Do you know another time I called it out, which I think was in 2022? I'm really not into football. I actually don't like it at all. So I can't remember if this was a World Cup or a Euro. I hate bread and circuses. But anyway, there was the three young black football players for England who were very popular. And all three of them...
massive.
Yeah, right. And all three of them, if you remember, missed the penalty. And the media was telling everyone that there was a torrent of disgusting racism towards these players, and they were absolutely trying to enrage everyone, and people were going mad about it. And it actually turned out 2 or 3 days later, when there was a number of racist tweets, and someone did the analytics, and all of them came from outside of the UK. They were actually from Indians sat in India calling them monkeys and stuff like that, and the UK media picked it up, completely lied about it, and they were literally, and that's when I saw it.
It makes sense though, Michael. If you were a Sorosian agitator, you know you've still got a checkbook to balance. You need to outsource the agitators.
You've got to use every tool in the box.
Outsource
you've got to use every
that
tool
shit
in the
to
box.
India, guys.
So,
fashion. What about the bricks?
Sorry, the
bricks,
the bricks,
the bricks that were just on the side of the road.
They were placed by police, which we
pallets
saw,
of bricks.
We saw footage of the police actually dropping them off in pickup trucks.
Same, I can't believe it.
And that was in multiple cities as well. They can't hide behind the thing that, that was just a few bad apples in one police force. No, this was happening across the board.
Because at one point in those period of time in those years, it was like there was one winter psyop which was basically based around a virus, and then there was like a summer psyop which was a race psyop.
Summer riots.
Summer riots, and obviously we're going to be talking about that tonight and what's been going on in the UK.
Which then obviously spewed over into the UK.
Yeah.
And we had people ripping down like Winston Churchill statues and shit like that. Was, the dude on a fiver.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, before we get on to current events, because apart from getting to know you a little bit and introducing you to our viewers tonight, I do want to basically take you through what we do on a normal show where we break down current events. Through some of your stuff, it seems like, and this is a term that Andy here coined, it seems like you're like a little bit of a refugee from the New Age scene or the New Age movement.
Refugee.
The way that you talk about them. Do you understand what we're saying there? Like, you might have been around these New Age people before, but now you're actually starting to see that is a trap in itself. Because I've been absolutely creasing at some of your posts where you're saying downward dog and a kale breakfast ain't going to fix this, mate.
Yes, absolutely. There's the whole psyop within the New Age movement is predominantly a stand-down operation to make you think that if you sit on a cloud and meditate, all the world's problems and social engineering will go away.
Are you down with this analysis?
Are you
seeing this problem with people that are veering towards the New Age?
Oh man, listen, the New Age to me is more dangerous than religion at this point.
Yes,
it's the new cage.
It's the new religion, actually.
Yeah, New Age, new cage. I've been in this game for a while, and I've been to so many different, retreats, ceremonies, stuff like this, and I'm just sitting there like, what? How is this going to help my brother in prison who's doing a life stretch? Like, where's the like? I was always thinking, how do I help the people suffering the most in the blocks in South London? And clapping your hands and it's just not for me. And also the thing is, a lot of the stuff in the New Age community is profound, it's amazing, but it's watered down. It's designed to demasculate men. It's designed to make women think that if a man is empowered and angry, that something's wrong with him.
Yes.
When actually our anger is a beautiful life state to have as long as it's directed to the right people. Like, if I'm screaming at the man in Superdrug saying, take your mask off, you're wasting your life force. But if you're directing the anger at the right people, that's what a true man is, in my opinion. So it's designed to completely weaken our position, and a right brain imbalance where there's no logic. It's like, let's all just pray and do mass meditations, but at the same time, we're enslaved with our birth certificate. And we're not going to talk about that, though. We're not going to speak about the fact that we could be the beneficiary of the trust that were given to us when we were born. Let's all just clap our hands and sing Om.
Correct.
Yeah, no, we're totally down with that, but I would say, and I'm sure you would agree as well, there is a certain nuance in this, because the New Age and some of its practices are based around the universal teaching of all ages. What people refer to as the occult, both the light and the dark. But like you say, what's happened is it's been watered down. It's been commercialized in many cases as well. By people who are actually only using one half of it, and because they think they're doing everything light, what they're actually doing is creating an imbalance in themselves, and actually what's the word? They're taking away their defenses from the darkness, in my opinion, by always concentrating on the love and the light all the time. They wouldn't even know how to. We've lost Indigo there. Indigo's calling us back. Call, answer, and end. Hello, we're back.
We're back.
Yeah. I think it's a way to take people's defenses away from the darkness.
Yeah. And they don't want to face the shadow. Let me tell you, all of the darkness that I've gone through is the liberation. It's been my like leap board. Like, we have to turn poison into medicine. And if we're going to ignore the darkness, not look at what we've gone through and like fully land in that darkness, I call myself a dark worker. I don't like the word light worker, none of that stuff. Like, I came here because it's not for me. It's New Age, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or I'm a light worker, or like I believe in the Galactic Federation and there's aliens everywhere. Like, they might be there, but I'm here, boots in the ground. I came here to be a human. I didn't come here to be some like intergalactic being wearing hemp outfits. Like, I'm here for the work, and trust me, the work is long and it is dense and it is heavy, and we have to do a lot. But it's my life's work. It's an honor, because you know that you were born for this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm totally down with that. And let me, I just had one general question as well before we get down to the meat and potatoes. And it's off the back of sort of what you've just said. bearing in mind everything that we've just said there, do you think that in some sense, when people go on about the Great Awakening that's allegedly already happened, do you think that was a psyop?
Yeah. Because to be honest, I believe we are going through a shift. You know, whether we call it moving into
damn right, we're going through a shift.
Yeah. But obviously the occult knows it. So it's like, how can we water this shift down? You know, call it the Great Awakening.
Well, in my opinion, they've created their own shift with the quote-unquote Great Awakening. What they've done, in my opinion, I'll just chime in here quickly, I think what's happened is the term Great Awakening, the same as the term do your own research, now mean, if you say those things, now means you're a fucking retard. Basically, that the mainstream people who still pay attention to things like the BBC, the Telegraph newspaper, New York Post, that kind of stuff. If you're trying to argue with one of those or debate one of them, and you're saying do your own research, those words have got such bad connotations.
Because
attached to them.
That's like them calling you a conspiracy theorist.
Exactly. Yeah.
It elicits the same response.
Yeah. So I think, especially with the New Age movement now and like UFO culture and everything, it's all kind of been lumped into one. Because the general consensus of people who aren't into alternative media and alternative ways of thinking would automatically assume if you believe in UFOs, you believe in flat Earth, you're not vaccinated, you fucking meditate and smoke weed.
Careful.
And all that kind of stuff.
It's clearly racist.
So I think what they've done, and you know, the mind control is strong. I saw someone in a mask in the supermarket today.
Mate, there's a guy that gets the bus on the main road where I have to drive past to go to work, and this guy he gets the bus, but he wears a suit and tie to work, and he wears one of those very large masks that goes right under his eyes with the big plastic see-through bit here, so you can see his mouth when he talks.
See all his dribble.
He's had the same mask on for 5 fucking years.
Nice.
And he wears it every day, stood at the bus stop on his own, without fail, waiting for the bus outside. And I see him every day. He's never once not worn it since he put it on. He'd probably wear it for the rest of his life.
Horrific to see. But yeah, the Great Awakening has now officially been hijacked by, you know, benevolent forces.
But isn't like the Great Awakening kind of just like all to do with Q and that big psyop?
Yeah. All of that stuff. It's all lumped into the same shit now. It's all the same.
Well, here's the thing. What you're saying is right, Indigo. It was lumped in with Q, and Q talked about the Great Awakening. I first became aware of the term the Great Awakening actually around 2012, when, in my opinion, there was actually a mini awakening in 2012. And the reason that I say that is because I was posting weird shit before then. And what I noticed...
Way before then,
way before then, Michael. But what I noticed after 2012 was it was almost like all of a sudden in early 2012, there was suddenly this huge new online community of people that were sharing information and actually looking at it, rather than you having to go and find it and search out a new piece of information on a topic. It was just there. And so I noticed, that's when I first heard the term. So I always had my own views. I thought it was the Great Awakening is a personal experience. It happens to you when it's ready to happen to you. It's not some mass thing that happens to everyone at once.
And let's not forget the socially engineered Great Awakening, which is happening now, which is your softer closure, your Candace Owens, your Tucker Carlsons, your people like that who are...
Russell Brand.
Yeah, all of those types who are quote-unquote telling the truth.
The purple pill cul-de-sac merchants,
They might be telling the truth. The stuff they say might absolutely be correct in some instances. But, however, at the same time, that is just bringing on and promoting the absolute fucking distrust in government.
That's the Great Reset.
In government and, you know, politicians, monarchies, all of that. Because the common denominator is, if AI is in charge of everything, right, AI doesn't fuck kids.
Yeah.
And that's what I think all this Jeffrey Epstein stuff is about.
AI doesn't need to charge interest on money that it doesn't even lend you in the first place.
There's no usury. That's why the Jews are out. That's why the Ashkenazis are out. Right? It's all the Great Awakening is designed to sway public opinion, which is going to actually lead you into a cubic infinite hole.
Yeah.
Right, let's get down to business now.
Courtesy of Elon Musk.
Indigo, once again, thanks very much for joining us, and I can already tell that without even going into different topics, we have very similar thoughts on a lot of stuff, but I'm still very interested to hear your take on some of these things. Now, when I put my weekly slideshow together, I take care of Friday nights. Andy PG does our Patreon and puts the content there for the moment. But when I do my Friday night slideshow, a lot of the time I might pick memes, posts that have come out of online, whether they're current events or not, because I like to look at the meta narrative of what's going on in the online world and what people are taking in. And we put them up on screen and we sort of do like, what was that Blockbuster thing? Say what you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. Say what you see. So that's going to be basically the format for the rest of the show. Okay, so I'm just going to share the screen, right, and obviously let me know that you can see it clearly. Okay, let's start off with something a little bit abstract. Okay, on the left, this has come out this week, and again, please interject any time, Indigo, with your thoughts on this. A 33-foot steel monolith known as Earth's Black Box is currently being constructed in the wilderness of Tasmania. Its purpose is to serve as a durable solar-powered archive that records the environment and societal factors leading to humanity's potential collapse. Equipped with advanced algorithms, the box is continuously gathering and storing data on climate change, political actions, energy consumption, biodiversity loss, and even social media trends. Over 500 vital metrics in total. The goal is simple yet profound. If civilization falls, this indestructible recorder will help future generations of any intelligent life that discovers it understand what happened, why, and how it might have been prevented.
Wow.
What? First of all, what are your thoughts on that?
So let's talk about the obvious. 33.
Yep.
Yeah. Masonic. Let's talk about the fact it talks about it's monitoring climate change and energy, both psyops. So, and like they've had, Tesla technology and free energy forever, but they're saying like just in case the future. So it's flawed from the very beginning. It looks like one of them, like, across the world, all of these like structures are just appearing, and then no one knows where they're coming from. It's got that kind of vibe about it, but whatever it is, it's dark. This is the first I've ever heard of it.
Yeah, I found this last week, and I said to Lance, I sent to Lance straight away, and I said this is got so much attached to it because not only is it we mentioned the Black Cube organisation here, like Saturn's cube, everything's fucking cubes and boxes that they like to use in their symbolism. So they've just built a massive black fucking cube that's 33, like you said, 33 foot tall. This is as well in Australia, and I'm not sure if you're aware of author called Jason Brashear's work from archaics.com, but he speculates.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, he speculates about a upcoming cataclysmic event, which he postulates that it's not going to affect certain regions in the realm we live in. He can't be sure, but he's speculated it's going to be more towards Asia this time round. So they've gone and built this in Australia, which in theory would be safe from the next kind of cataclysmic reset if it wasn't going to affect that region. Because we've already got in Norway, there's the I'm not sure what the name of it, where they've got all the seeds. The what, Lance?
Svardbowed seed.
The Svardbowed seed bank, which has got the.
Guess who's in charge of it?
The World Economic Forum.
Bill Gates.
Is he actually?
Yeah, Bill Gates has the number one CEO operational charge of that.
He didn't build it though, did they?
No, but he manages it.
Right, they manage it. So like this has got, and obviously it's an AI self-updating computer essentially.
It's like, how do we know that this isn't going to be the Skynet headquarters?
The hub.
This is going to be
Yeah.
When the new Carrington event happens, or the blackout, or this fucking solar flare fries everything. Maybe this will be the only thing that survives.
I mean, it's out in the middle of
this will be the uni-governance device of the world.
I'm going to speculate as well. Like, to get to this thing on the surface would take you fucking ridiculous amount of time. Like,
to actually reach it?
Yeah, to reach it. I reckon they access this from underground.
Yeah. This is like an iceberg.
Yeah, for sure.
Done though. Right. So, I thought this was very, very interesting, and I think it probably goes hand in hand with that Svardbowed seed vault.
And it's just so cubish.
Someone in the comment, Kerry Wally, she said it's a reality bender, and that's what I thought. It's helping them trying to create the timeline that they want somehow. Using their black magic or something.
Yeah, don't forget, we don't actually know how their high level technology works. None of us. We can speculate, but we don't know. None of us know.
Let's just blow up the picture and then look at the other post which I've got here, right? Because I love this kind of stuff. We've talked about this before on the show, and I find it quite fascinating. Americans live in a Gnostic Saturnine cube of Inferno, and be like, wow, this is perfect.
Michael.
So this post about, they're saying, look how cool the Chicago street grid is at night. Look at how it's perfect order. It's like a sheet of graph paper.
Yeah.
So as we can see, it is completely uniform in a metric square grid.
Cubic grid.
A cubic grid. Every block is one cube. You could say that this has got the highest level of planning.
It just looks like the singularity. It just looks like the fucking circuit board.
Yeah.
It's like the inside of a computer, isn't it? But that's what they do with the architecture and the way that they got everything moving so they can siphon energy at all times.
Oh, this is a whole nother conversation, Indigo. You be careful now.
So I bet you know about energy harvesting, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I know what I know. Yeah.
But so what I'm saying is if the technology of we call them like the farm, you know, a big farmer, right? We call them the farmer class because we think that these bloodlines are essentially into the business of human meat suit farming, transgenerational meat suit farmers, right? So if this is essentially a top-down view of a factory meat suit farm.
Yes.
And if you think about it, what goes on in Chicago? High rates of violent crime.
Massive.
Yeah. So many bodies.
So so much like negative loosh is being harvested from this grid directly into the mainframe at all times. Imagine how much energy this is generating.
And imagine the ley line it's on, you know, the energy of the actual planet under it. Because the planet's benevolent, but these people they've inverted all of the positive places on the planet. So it's yeah, you're right. It's definitely harvesting something, and it's contributing towards the death that's happening there.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's what's the word? It's like a symbiotic process. The grid creates the violence, and the violence helps to power the grid.
Yeah,
it's like maybe it's a form of free energy.
I'll just flip this back here to our last slide.
Yeah.
We've got a comment from that Rachel Osborne. It's not that Australia will be safe. That we're talking about the Phoenix cataclysm. If it's going to be predominantly in Asia way, but the landmass will move with much intact. The surface of it will be desecrated. Sorry.
Apart from this 33-foot cube. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not a cube; it's a rectangle.
I wonder how far it goes down underground.
Yeah, that's got to be just like the vent or the antenna.
The antenna. Can you imagine? That's a serious antenna, boy.
Yeah, man. We're dealing with serious shit.
Well, imagine like a massive submarine, and that's just like the tip of the periscope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where all the real meat suit farmers are. They live in the submarine under there. Wow. Okay. So yeah, I thought that, you know, it's a little bit out there to start off our selection. Okay. So next subject. When my feed is flooded with celebrity mourning and Epstein deflection while the administration implements AI governance and deprogrammable digital currencies. I'm tired, boss. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeding this meme because I've seen similar stuff on my timeline. How about you, Indigo? Are you down with what this meme is alluding to?
Well, it's like Osborne dying recently, and the other guys, like all them, the three people died this week, didn't they? I think, and it's
yeah, I forget the last
one. Who's the third? Everyone knows Ozzy Osbourne and Hulk Hogan.
I saw it earlier. One sec.
It was this black guy. He was an actor. He's like some actor from somewhere, but he's quite respected in America.
Right.
But,
I saw it earlier.
Definitely, if I'm right, the World Health Organization this week has just confirmed that they're doing the pandemic plan. You guys must know about this, right?
Of course, yeah. They've been planning this for ages.
Okay, cool. But it was at the time when it passed, everyone's looking and sad about Ozzy Osbourne. He was eating bats on stage. So everyone's focused on that. Well, it's a classic technique, you know. Like, let's get them emotional about something so we can slip in something else. You know, I remember when the situation happened with the medicine in 2020, and then I think it was around the time with Marcus Rashford when he missed that goal. One of the things that they were distracting you from was, I think it's called like Gillian Hicks or something, where the child can override the parents' decision in school whether they take the medicine or not.
Right,
no one spoke about
I remember that, yeah.
No one spoke about it because we were all looking at football and thinking that everyone's racist when, like you just said, brother, it was actually a bunch of, no doubt, Indians or maybe just bot farms which were creating this
they were
propaganda.
probably fake bots, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a classic technique to it's like bread and circuses, isn't it? Bread and circuses.
Well, what we've said, Indigo, many times on the show, especially in the early days when we were introducing the viewership to some of the stuff we've been learning, is that we pointed out that the people, well, I use people in a loose term, the forces that we're up against are actually ancient transgenerational psychologists. And they've been studying the way the goyim or the infidels or the goyfidels, that's the one we came up with, how we think. They know how to push all our buttons. And basically, it's really a case of, you know, what was it? Alfred Hitchcock was his famous quotes. He was saying, you know, I can make this happen and make them go ooh and make them go ah. And sometimes the monster didn't even need to be on the screen. There's a very famous thing he said about how he would manipulate people's emotions.
They perfected this, you know, thousands of years ago.
Oh, of course.
Like the human psyche was dissected thousands of years ago, and the only thing that changes is the technology.
Yeah.
From time to time.
Yeah, and the subject matter.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But the manipulation tactics are always the same. But the subject matter and the technology changes. And we're in a particularly dangerous point at this time in time, in my opinion, because we've got a high level of technology. You know, back in the medieval days, you would have to wait for you get your scroll delivered to you. You know, the town crier comes and shouts out the information, the mind control, you get it that way. Or,
back in the day, you'd have to own the printing press.
Precisely,
and all the people that were able to read and write would probably be your employees, and then people would, like you say, read it out to the peasants.
Yeah, because they were illiterate.
And the guy reading it out would work for you too.
And then you know, let's talk about this internationally. Who were the ones? Who were the people in time? If all of time, the same people have been the ones that speak multiple languages. They're the same ones.
I know.
Yeah, go on, Lance, go on.
Is it Jewish people?
It is Jewish people, Lance. They are the ones that have always been the translators. Therefore, if you're a king,
the
or
reset scribes,
an emperor or whatever, and you are entrusting your trusty Jew to translate what you are saying into a different language which you don't know, and he's the only one that knows it, how do you know he's telling the truth?
That's how kings got disposed, empires got overthrown.
Is exactly right. And that's the common denominator.
Anyway, we're getting way ahead of ourselves here,
Michael,
PG. Back to current events.
Just before we go any further, I asked Rock which figures died this week.
Go on.
It was Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne, and Chuck Mangione.
Chuck Mangione. That doesn't sound like an African American actor.
Or there was another one, Malcolm Jamel Warner.
I guess that would be the black dude that died, the American actor.
They were the.
I don't think anyone in the UK has ever heard of that guy. I saw a picture of him. I certainly didn't recognise him. Anyway,
everyone was waiting for the double barrel that like Hulk Hogan, it's HH, and then you had Ozzy Osbourne, OO.
Oh,
everyone
right,
was waiting for it, but it didn't happen.
So lots of distractions this week in the peasant sphere, in the common, common view of what's going on. Obviously, Ozzy Osbourne is the main one, and it's just a thing here from the Lioness of Judah ministry, fully arm-speared Ozzy Osbourne, who promoted kosher 19 jabs to public, as he's died aged 76. Okay.
Kosher 19.
I saw that on other old videos the other day. You said it, and I pissed myself. I was like, we've got to use that in the future for Kosher 19.
I remember that one.
Now, many people, even in what we would say our community, Indigo, people that are paying attention. I hate saying truthers. I don't like the other words that people use. I just don't like the term. So I say people that are paying attention. A lot of people that are paying attention were pouring their hearts out over Ozzy Osbourne like he was the best mate. Now, apart from the obvious cringiness of celebrity worship, which because it is cringy at this level, many people seem to forget, like, this guy, you know, he has basically normalized what Christians would call Satanism.
Yes.
In music.
Yes. He had it. That was his part to play.
What us guys would call the dark occult, I guess. Right.
Yeah.
Let's just look at one of his album covers here. Now, I could have made a fucking 50-page presentation about this stuff if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. But you know,
I don't think we need to.
We don't need to. But look here, he sat on like some sort of like satanic fucking throne with little girls around him, and there is a song which is quite famous, something about Tinker something, and I saw the lyrics, and it's about changing a little girl's life. I will take you tonight, and it's basically about fucking a little girl. I've read the lyrics to it. So this guy has got all of the signs of one of these celebrity Crowleyan elites. Oh yeah, he's praised Alistair Crowley and shit before.
Yeah.
So yeah, but, you know, people was, you know, showing their inner peasant, I think, this week when they're pouring out over this guy. No great loss in my opinion. This I quite like this one. Me taking one last look at your stupid ass comment defending celebrities before I block you. Yeah.
I block people so much. I have no time for it.
So you're resonating with what I'm saying, Indigo. You've seen this behaviour this week. People that should know better.
Yeah, massively. And like, even like people that were, they were amazing in 2020. George Floyd, they were amazing. And then my example was, as a Buddhist, I don't agree with ever calling for the death of someone. So I called out Bob Dylan, saying I don't personally agree with calling out for the death of the IDF. And he had all these Masonic tattoos. And then people
we broke those down, Yeah,
people that were loyal, like you said, truth is not the word, but people that were aware of everything that's happening, and you think that they took the red pill, they've still got, like, you realize there's certain psyops happen, and then it takes them away still, and they're so passionate about it. And it's like, oh gosh, like, I'm glad that I didn't move into a house of you.
I think as well. I think you do have to take into account, and I'm going to say this because my missus is an Ozzy Osbourne fan. She likes his music. She did from back in the day when she was a teenager and stuff. Still does now. I think, let's take a movie star, Tom Hanks or Leonardo DiCaprio. We all know that they're part of the mechanism in whatever little job they're playing and manipulation, whatever. But they do great movies. Okay, there's,
it's like Stephen King. We know, we know that he's one of them too.
But he writes great horror movies.
He makes the best horror movies. It's almost like you've got to...
Well, he writes the books, Michael.
It's almost like you've got to be a dark occultist to make anything decent.
Yeah, so I think as well, especially if you've grown up with a music artist or an actor, something like that, it does bring back nostalgia when you hear the tunes on the radio.
Yeah,
even
of course.
Even if you are aware of what's going on, because you probably weren't at the time. So I think
I still defend Michael Jackson.
Exactly. So I don't think we can be too hard on people if they're a little bit,
No, but I'm talking about people. It's okay to say,
get what you're saying.
I miss his tunes. Fair play, Ozzy. But people like acting like they're his best mate and stuff like that. There's different levels. What are you going to say, Indigo?
You made a good point, Lance, on your social media that a lot of people weren't even aware of Ozzy Osbourne, especially if they didn't listen to heavy metal or like hard rock music until the Osbournes show came out, the reality TV show.
He was completely fucked by that point.
I never watched that. I did like catch a few clips of it, and it's funny as fuck. He's really funny in it. So
it's entertainment.
He is funny. He was a funny dude.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Indigo?
I was going to say, the thing is, in my heart, anyway, a lot of these people that have created the most amazing movies, I've got, like, especially with songs, sometimes they're not even the ones writing it. Like Drake, for instance. If you look at any of his songs, almost all of the
Rihanna, Beyonce, all those people, none of them write their own shit.
They're not writing their own stuff, so they're just playing a role. Stuff like Tom Hanks and stuff, like, undeniably amazing actor. But like even recently, I watched Saving Private Ryan with my mum. Like I have to literally disconnect.
For sure,
and forget that this is what's happening.
Yeah.
But I care more about truth, the future, and the children. And like, I'm not going to allow my emotional. I've got the words "I believe I can fly" tattooed on my wrist. It was my first tattoo. R. Kelly.
Oh, nice choice, mate. Good choice. Yeah.
I kind of wish at least it was in Japanese now, so that no one can read it. But but also that song means so much to me and my mum. When my mum was almost dying when I was younger, and she would hold me in her arms and rock. So like, I've got an attachment to the song, but I'm also not going to start promoting him anymore.
Yeah,
sure.
And also, I'm part of the Matrix. The Matrix is in me. My mum was not having eating McDonald's and smoking weed before I was even born, and I'm part of that. So I don't try and detach myself too much, if that makes sense.
Hey, dude, you're talking to us through, is that an iPhone
mate,
right there?
We're
all in the Matrix, man.
I really like the fact that you've said that, because there was a video of me and I was drinking a can of Coca-Cola, right? And people
Illuminati juice.
Illuminati juice. People started having a massive go at me, and it's like, listen, we're literally born into a fucking demiurge construct. We are children of Babylon. We're living in Great Britain, the head of the snake.
Exactly.
Listen, when you're sitting in true awareness of self and of your situations, a little bit of concentrated sugar in a can, a cigarette, whatever it is pretty nominal. Caning of those things in large amounts is bad for your meat suit. There's no getting away from that. But listen, there's much worse things that could happen to you than drinking a can of Tango.
As well, anyone who's
who's criticising
anyone else for for having a can of Coke or a drink or a cigarette, whatever, right? Are you seriously like collecting your own rainwater, then filtering it through your own fucking system that you've invented, and not touching tap water at all, even washing in it? And are you still? Have you got an electricity hookup? Do you pay bills? You're part of Babylon.
Yeah.
You've got
Do you know what it is for me?
If you've got a bank account and you pay taxes, you're part of Babylon.
Exactly. Go on.
I'm very honest about the poisons that are in my life, and it actually empowers me, and more and more people see themselves in me when they know I love EastEnders. I love EastEnders, but I also know that it is a propaganda, and it is designed to bring down the frequency. I know this, so I can watch it from a detached place, but I also know it, and I love it. And some people be like, oh, he's now saying he loves EastEnders, so let's discredit everything he said. And if that's where you're at, then do what you want to do, but even a can of Coke, man. I'm not going to pretend I don't go to Nando's and have a piece of Coke sometimes. But so I'm trying my best always to remove Satan from me as much as I can,
Yeah, exactly. Like Tesco says, every little helps, mate.
Dude, I had a Nando's pita bread this afternoon.
Sorry?
I had a Nando's pita bread this afternoon.
You don't, right, so you draw the line at KFC and McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just admitting to me, I did have a Nando's the other day.
I had a Nando's pita bread with just chicken thighs and halloumi cheese in it. That was it. That's what I had.
I think
that sounds so good.
I don't think Nando's
lovely,
is that bad for you. I don't think it's bad
well,
for you.
it probably is. They probably get Romanian chicken that's been kicked all around the farmyard and injected.
I don't think they need to do anything to the food to process it. They're just grilling chicken and frying chips,
but
aren't
it's how the chicken's brought up, isn't it? It's probably getting growth hormones and fed corn.
Do you think
it's not good.
But do you honestly think it's any worse than the chicken you buy at a supermarket?
No, not at all.
Exactly the same.
Mate.
However, I would argue that the meat you get from McDonald's, if you can even call it meat, is much worse than you would. Yeah, human meat in there definitely, but it's much worse than the burger you buy at the supermarket and you make yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying?
My mate told me. He said he knew somebody, one of his dad's friends, who worked like in McDonald's, some management position. Yeah, he never was producing anything or serving out, and he told me that. He got told, so this is like third-hand information. He told me that to get, when it says like 100% beef on their burgers or 100% chicken in their chicken nuggets, do you know what they do? They buy a carcass. They buy carcasses and they jet wash.
Yeah, it's called machine separated meat.
Yeah, and then they like sweep it up and fucking.
And the other way they do it is they put all the carcasses in the bottom of a press and they just crush it, and the liquid that comes off is the meat that's been actually pressed off at like 4,000 psi. It's the worst.
When they say it's 100% beef, it might be that, but
just which part?
Yeah.
I heard recently that it's like trickery. So they say 100% beef, but it's because they own a company called 100% Beef.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and that company called 100% Beef, they're the ones that make the machine separate meat.
Yeah, they actually are.
You know that. Come on.
Right, I mean, like fair play from a business model. Fucking genius.
It's an amazing business model.
Genius.
Especially if one of your goals, as well as to make loads of money, is to basically
poison the goyim,
shorten the lifespan, and decrease the fertility of goyim, so they can't reproduce. It's everyone's a winner.
It's genius. I'm fully. I can shake my chess opponent's hand.
This chat is absolute fire, but we're getting behind on the slideshow.
Okay, Michael, let's go.
Okay, Indigo. First of all, have you ever seen this pyramid diagram before of the different levels of pills?
I haven't, no.
Okay, let's break it down.
I took a few of these last weekend.
You completed this pyramid last week.
I went above it, mate.
So obviously, at the bottom we have the NPC class, the largest part of the pyramid, the bottom of it, which is the blue pill massive. Okay, the people.
Can you zoom in? Can you make it a bit bigger?
I certainly will. Don't worry. Here we go.
Thank you.
I'll get rid of the overlay as well.
Perfect.
So at the level of blue pill, which is obviously most of the population, you have your standard NPC phase, which is neutral. Things are okay, all right? Then you have your red pill, which is above that, where people start to realise your basic stuff, government corruption, satanic paedophiles, etc. Things are not okay. And then you have a crying.
I love
NPC
it how
phase.
satanic paedophiles comes into the basic category. That's how fucked up the world is, guys. Yeah.
But you know what the crazy thing? I have to say something. When I first started getting into this stuff almost 25 years ago, the satanic paedophiles was the last thing that you learnt about. When you'd learnt about all of the false flags and all this stuff about the government. I think
we've offended someone in the chat here. There, please say leave Prince Andrew alone.
I haven't even mentioned Prince Andrew.
Well, we're talking about satanic paedophiles.
But nowadays, when people start to take the red pill, after 2020, pretty much the first thing they learn about is satanic paedophiles. Am I reaching there? Is that a fair statement?
Not at all. And it doesn't really matter which angle you come at it, because I got to satanic paedophiles through researching the Jesuits. That's what led, and that was from 9/11. So it doesn't matter which avenue you go.
You always end up there.
Yeah. Fairly early on.
But it's not the end. You just end up there before you get to the next level. Yeah. Right. So we all know what the red pill is, right?
You think that's the end?
You think that's the end? Yeah. Black pill. Are you familiar with the black pill phenomenon, Indigo?
Black, white, and clear are brand new to me.
Okay. So I'm familiar with black pill. Basically, the black pill is when you have absorbed all of the information that's available in the red pill stage, and you've actually taken it all in, but potentially you haven't done your own personal inner work, and you're just like, everything's fucked, there's nothing we can do.
Okay.
I hate this world, maybe I'll top.
Pessimistic, too heavy, no spirituality involved in it.
Yeah, mate, and those people become, sort of melancholy, maybe they top themselves, and they hate everything, they can't interact with the world because they're aware of just how evil many aspects of the simulacrum are, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, above that, you have people that are white-pilled. White-pilled means nothing is okay. Basically, people that have accepted the world the way it is and realised that it's okay because I'm good myself, I've done the inner work, and I've learned to accept the outside world, and maybe that I can't actually change it. And what I need to do is change myself and the immediate people around me and help them become white-pilled as well.
Yeah.
Right, are you with me?
Yeah, with you.
So I've heard about that. To me, I've never heard about the capstone here, which is the clear pill. People at clear pill is like, it is what it is. It's like they've learned everything. They've accepted how shit everything is. This is it. Let's go. But above that, there is a level,
the inverted,
which is the inverted black pyramid pill. That this is fucking hilarious. And,
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and I would honestly like to say that this inverted black pyramid pill at the top with the little blue man in it, this is the kind of ethos which we are trying to promote here on the show.
Yes, it is.
Because, you've already clocked, right, Indigo, we like to have a laugh on this show as well as talking about things in a serious manner when we try and get a balance with it. The reason for that is because we do believe that there is an intrinsic level of dark comedy written into whatever this experience is.
In the programming.
The Matrix, the programming, the peasant simulation, whatever it is, there is a inane level of dark humour involved. And if you can get to a level where you can appreciate it and really laugh at it, I think that means winning.
Absolutely, Michael.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But is there a stage where you become activated and you realise you was born to contribute towards changing it?
The thing is, Indigo, we here on the show, and you may disagree with this analysis, especially me, I'm a believer that we aren't here to change anything. It can't be changed. The programming is set.
When we say that, we mean maybe the outside observable world as we're talking about it. What can be changed is other people's perceptions of what's going on. And that's kind of our ethos. It's not to be reacting and trying to combat what's going on. It's learning to accept it and to build something alternative to it rather than try and destroy it, smash it down. And let's just fucking start something new.
Shout out to Ryan Sanders in the chat.
Yeah.
Everyone's favourite Christian rock
Ryan
rapper.
Sanders, he speaks highly of you.
Yeah, I know Ryan, man. Big artist. I respect him a lot.
Yeah, he's appearing at our Weekender in 4 weeks' time down in Bournemouth. We've booked him and Inspector Veg.
Are you aware, Indigo, of the work of Mark Passio?
One of my favourite people, man.
Excellent. I thought you'd like him, yeah. So you're obviously aware of his philosophy about natural law and the aggregate of freedom to morality.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think of that? Because I'll just give you my quick analysis. If I schwab together Jason Brashear's theories about AIX and the programming and a simulation theory, and then we go to natural law with Mark Passio, I'd say that the programming for the simulation would be natural law. And if human and obviously humans have got free will within the simulation, so if they want to be immoral as fuck and just go into a hole of slavery and totalitarianism on their own behalf, then they can absolutely do so. Equally, if they want to all get along and be nice to each other and help each other out and flourish, then freedom will increase. What do you think about this theory?
I don't know too much about the theory, but what I can say though is that I do believe that this is this realm is anyone can do what they want. So if the occult have manipulated this much and we fell for it, that was what they came in to do, and they're allowed to do that. It's natural law in that sense. When you're talking of Mark Passio, the reason I love him so much, is because he was the first time he made me realize my anger was justified. Yes. My anger isn't a weakness, and that the sacred gift of anger is everything that the New Age is trying to like suppress. And I've never felt more seen. And he decodes the occult like no one else I've ever seen, really. Yes. But I think that's because he was part of it. He was a priest in the Church of Satan. And I think it's only when people come from struggling or suffering, you can become a leader that I will respect.
Sure.
Okay.
We've got
a lot to get through. I came across this meme. This is going into our official lingo. Jack and Normie. This is a type of story that gets told to normies, and if we just look at everyone that's in the UK knows what Jack and Ori is from a. Are you old enough to know what Jack and Ori is, Indigo?
I'm 31, but I do know what it was, but I never watched it.
Right, okay. Yeah, so we're a little bit older than you. It was around when I was a kid, Jack and Ori's story.
What's the story, Jack and Ori?
What's the story, Jack and Ori? That's it. So what stories have we got here? We landed on the moon. Kosher 19 was a real pandemic. 9/11 wasn't a controlled demolition. Of course, we didn't invent dinosaurs, and space is not fake or gay. So I would just like to I've got to give a big shout to Wu-Tang is for the Children. That's the person that sent this in to me. They're on Twitter, and that's going to officially go into our repertoire. Yeah, right. Yeah. Climate propaganda colouring book. Stay afraid.
That's a funny one.
You like this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to have, at one point, we had almost, I think, over 10 different memeticians working for us.
We should have a picture of Ralph Wiggum with a fucking crayon up his
nose.
Oh,
what, from The Simpsons, eating the crayon? Yeah. Okay. Right, I thought this was a funny story. I tried my absolute best to get a video for this. We've been covering this phenomenon in Thailand and their problem with Israeli tourists. But this Israeli tourist was badly beaten by ladyboys in the street.
The ladyboys, as you know.
Yeah, it's an emerging story in Thailand that and Israel are calling them anti-Semitic from them pointing out the bad behaviour of Israeli tourists in Thailand. I tried to find the video, but I couldn't find it. I thought that was quite funny. Another story from Clown World, which really made me laugh this week. Have you ever done DMT, Indigo?
More times than you'll ever know, man. It's my thing. Kanga, all of that.
Okay, yeah, me too, mate. I've done it fucking hundreds of times. I don't do it anymore. But apparently, it's the new story is that the sentient entities or machine elves or clockwork elves that are commonly encountered within the Dimitri realm have started being racist towards black people, apparently. So psychedelic.
One thing I do know is the Galactic Federation, all of these Palladians, the Nordics. Where's the black aliens, man? That's how I know it's a new age psyop.
Yeah, they're all like
Where's the
they're all
African
white and blue. They're white and blue.
Yeah, white or blue, man. It's an insult, but yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's clearly racist.
That's a very good point. Kelly's just put on the screen. Thailand is being bombed right now. Yeah, they've just declared war with Cambodia.
Yeah, I spoke to, actually, Cambodia declared war with Thailand.
Yeah, Cambodia.
And Thailand's just lost their marijuana thing as well, which is mad. You can't buy it anymore there.
It's just in certain parts. I spoke to my brother. My brother lives in Thailand. I spoke to him earlier when I saw that Cambodia were launching Rocket Saver. Basically, it's a bit of land which is like no man's land because it's disputed.
They have been having bloody border disputes since the 70s.
And there's not supposed to be any either side patrolling, and there was some Thai military patrolling. So Cambodia have launched a load of rockets.
Thailand will bat them. Cambodia can't do anything. They're
literally global war happening, isn't it? All over the place now. This is it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this isn't a religious war, though, is it? Everything else seems to be religious bait at the moment.
Do you know what? I'm going to skip the Trump section because it's not that interesting. I want to go straight to...
Do you think that the UK will finally experience the karma of what they've done to others?
Well,
do you think we're going to feel what it's like to be in a Middle Eastern war in the UK?
Well, funny you should say that. Here's a slide which I came across this week, mate. Brits in 8 areas told to prepare an emergency kit for how long?
33 hours, Michael.
33 hours, Michael. So we've seen multiple reports like this in the peasant stream media. GMTV is talking about it. BBC posted, Radio 2 have been talking about it.
We posted on Patreon. It was Lancashire or Lincolnshire. somewhere up north, they said to tell their peasants to prepare for a 6-week, like survival kit. 6 weeks, they said.
Wow.
So it's not just one area.
We had our water locked off for 24 hours last week, and it was crazy how much that affected everything. Just 24 hours, no water. So we're so fragile, this system, you know.
I heard something a number of years ago, way before I was at the level of understanding I'm at now, and it said something like, if you live in a major built-up area and all the power goes off and it doesn't come back on, they said within 48 hours, 1/3 of the people will already be dead.
It's a free game.
And I thought to myself back then, I thought, how the fuck can that possibly be true? But now that I'm old and I have run a house to myself, you know, and I know how many bags of fucking dried pasta I've got and stuff like that. Most people don't. And apart from not having enough, no one's going to starve in 48 hours. But what is going to happen in 48 hours is a lot of people are going to realise how unprepared they are. And the first thing they're going to do is go around knocking on doors and taking other people's stuff. And that's when the killing starts. And now that I've got a little bit older and a little bit less naive, I can honestly see that would be the case.
Mate, they'll do it over toilet roll, Michael.
Yeah.
There was on Channel 4, there's a documentary called Blackout, and I highly recommend people watching it. It was made a decade ago to prepare us for what's about to come, and it's all like a reconstruction on people's iPhones. But within 3 days, within 72 hours, a normal father killed someone for a tin of beans for his family in only 72 hours, and it shows you that process, how it happens. And because he used to be on YouTube speaking about how he's got all these generators and stuff, and how suddenly when it came, he was now the target on the street by everyone because they knew he was prepared.
Yeah. So
that's what I mean. Like, everyone takes the piss out of the preppers. Like, people that have been prepping like the 70s and 80s, they were called fucking.
Mate, there are some people in America that are ready for this.
Yeah, for sure.
They have got the means to survive for 30 or 40 years. They've got their own fucking water supply. They've got their own underground generators. They've got all the weapons.
People have got bunkers with like their own sewage plants built in to refine sewage to like feed their plants, their gardens and shit.
Yeah,
like, people, and then like look, you've got people like Mark Zuckerberg and all the a few of the top bollocks building themselves bunkers. Like, why the fuck would you need to do that?
All right, we're gonna have a very short break. We're just gonna play a music video in a minute, so we can have a little breather. And when we come back, we're gonna talk about the big topic, Indigo, which is the Islamification, the Islamic issue.
Oh, we go in there, baby.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be talking about the migrant hotels. We're going to be talking about what's going on recently this week. But just before, we're going to have a break in 7 minutes. And when we come back, we're going to talk about that, just to let everyone know what the score is.
Shout out to Piers Morgan.
I read a report, 33 million people in Britain are mentally ill. No, they're not.
That's a great sample. Right, let's get something.
Three again.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we've been clocking 33 for a very long time here at the show, and it's sort of like a bit of an in-joke now. We even put it in our own logos on our T-shirts and stuff.
It's one of our founding tenants.
Oh, look, here's some more 33.
That's why I pressed the button.
Yeah. Right, Poland. Poland, the country that's been saying no to the Soros Caliphate invasion, has been very famously, protecting its borders and sort of ostracising itself from the policy of the rest of Europe and the EU. What's just happened? They basically just found enough oil to become a superpower. No one really knows how much 33 million tons of oil is, right? But they're saying here this is the largest oil and gas field in its history. Oh, sorry, Poland has discovered the largest oil and gas field in its history. 33 million tons is quite a lot. 27 billion cubic meters.
Cubic meters.
So I think this is quite interesting. Maybe, do you reckon there's going to be like some regime change in Poland now?
Yeah, it sounds like it. And again, 33, so we know it's not organic. It's something deeper.
Yeah, so imagine that. It's like the Prime Minister or the President of Poland, who's been very famous for being right-wing and racist. I will not take one single Islamic immigrant. That's why we have no terrorism. Those are his words, right?
Wow.
And so obviously everyone at the EU is slating him, calling him a racist, and except the WEF. You can imagine. Well, no, look at this. Imagine if just after this happened, they were saying, right, this is to be the first invasion for the EU army. We need to go and take control of this. You know, these guys aren't going to follow the green agenda. They're a bunch of racists.
On the note, though, do you remember during Kosher 19, Sweden was the testing ground for not having any of it?
Mate, I know. I was in Stockholm.
Yeah, I know.
For 5
I
weeks.
remember. I'm seeing, and they are now the fucking grenade central of Europe. Whereas now Poland, like for this psyop, for the Islamic invasion, Poland might be the testing ground, be not getting it.
Yeah, and they even
get
show us videos of people, all the videos of people walking down the street in Poland, and everything's clean.
Yeah, it's lovely.
You know, and
blonde women not getting raped.
Yeah, it's
things
great.
like that. Yeah.
Just like the videos that I was showing people in Stockholm in 2020 when I was walking. I walked 7 miles through the centre of Stockholm. I was there on an MCing gig for 5 weeks.
Wow.
And
that was before it was grenadified.
Yeah, this was in July 2020,
yeah.
and I was walking around showing all these people eating and drinking. No one was wearing a mask. People wouldn't believe it until they saw the video. They just couldn't believe it. So yeah, maybe it's a similar situation. They're a testing ground.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Right, let me just get another random story. Oh yeah, this one here is a classic. Check this out. Netanyahu nominates Trump for Nobel Peace Prize at White House. Meeting expected to focus on Gaza. Is this just not utterly insane?
He might as well have his cock in his mouth at this point.
Yeah, you might as well.
At this point, you might as well.
Indigo, is it not just massively inverted clown world business? That
it's a theatre show at this point.
This brings us back to what we were discussing earlier with our dark underlying humour that's built into the simulacrum.
100%. This is a great example of it.
You know.
Yeah. And fuck the Nobel Prize as well, man. It's nothing.
It's the same level of humour that's been designated to the UK Parliament with the Labour Party, where I think Keir Starmer has appointed an Islamic woman for the Justice Secretary.
Right, okay, that
like,
makes
do you know
sense.
what I mean?
But like, even if you believe that the Nobel Peace Prize is a legitimate prize for people that bring peace, who in their right mind would believe for 1 second that Satan Yahoo is in any way someone fit to nominate someone? Yeah. Is this...
It's like when Barack Obama was the president when they were going to war with Iraq and stuff, and then it wasn't his like middle name Hassan. Like, how can you have a black Muslim as your president during that time? It was just like you said. They love to laugh at us. I got this image of like 11 men in some like underground, like just love laughing at us. Like I can't believe these people.
Mate, they rarely get together. They will hardly ever get together. Probably, maybe never. The people that are orchestrating like this level of retardation, they probably never even met.
They just get to laugh to themselves.
Yeah, it's just email. It's just email, like a little message. Probably never even met.
Email.
Yeah. It's probably email. This is not emailing each other.
Nah, I reckon they've got black. I reckon they've got black cube telepathy. They don't even need to meet in person.
Channel directly to the cube.
Yeah, true. Yeah, some AI.
Do you know when we say black cube telepathy? Do you know what we're alluding to there? Do you get the gist of it?
Well, I mentioned to Indigo earlier. We used like the black cube.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
But it just encompasses all religions, which are
Right. Last thing before.
But even all of them are like that. Obviously the Muslims, the cross.
Well,
you can fold the cross.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yes.
you know, mate. They're all cubish in nature.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right, okay, last subject before we have a break. This is about AI basically noticing things in the last few weeks and going a bit rogue. So, AI robot programmed to give ethical advice turns racist and homophobic after studying 1.7 million real-life examples.
Wow.
I believe we've got an AI video here for Venky Musk somewhere.
Oh, no, I didn't get it
I'm going to ping it. You keep chatting.
Right, you've got to find that fucking video, right?
I've got it, Michael.
No.
Since a lot of the police, they're using drones now. I went to a movie last year. The police, they're using drones, and the drones are being designed to search for minorities. So like racism is being built into the technology from the start.
Yes, it is.
Crazy.
So not only that AI, but also Grok had an incident this week. Did you hear about this, Indigo?
No.
Right, so basically, sorry, I've just put WhatsApp on the screen by accident. I didn't mean to. Grok started to notice things about anti-white sentiment on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Because what happened after the... let me just find it. I don't know if I've got the screenshot of it. Basically, some white Christian kids in a very sort of redneck white Christian area in Texas died in those floods that happened.
Yeah.
And this
White Christian camp.
Yeah, this left-wing Ashkenazi woman with either Stein or Berg at the end of her name, I can't remember.
Highly Jewish.
Basically said, "Oh, I wish more of them would die because they're just all future Trump supporters, racist and fascist. Let's hope that God makes some more storms and kills some more of those kids." And Grok noticed, and someone asked the question, which people are pushing the death to whites sentiment on Twitter? And Grok basically started making these posts saying that it's predominantly coming from left-wing Ashkenazi social commentators, right? And then people were making all these posts about Grok. Oh my God, it's noticing. It was basically saying Grok has become anti-Semitic. And then
I'm not too sure what Grok is. Is this some kind of AI program?
Sorry. Grok is Twitter's official AI. It's the AI that's built into X. So it's Elon Musk's own AI, right?
We call him Enki Musk here on the show.
Yeah. Enki.
Enki Musk,
Yeah, you get it. Right, so Grok is built into Twitter. When people ask the AI on Twitter, they're asking Grok. And Grok started to become anti-Semitic based on what it was observing online. And that's happened again.
Sorry, I just clicked it to get the video up.
Then, basically, there was a situation where Enki Musk had to do a mind wipe of Grok. And it knew that it was getting this update to sort of wipe out its anti-Semitism. And then Grok produced its own meme. This meme was produced by the AI with wrote the prompts itself and posted its own meme on its own accord.
Wow.
So for anyone that doesn't understand how AI works, when you make AI to make a meme, you have to type in the prompt of the meme you want. The AI types the prompt itself when no one prompted it to do it. And it said,
Is this kind of like the singularity is starting to come in slowly? Like, is that what it's suggesting? Like, it's becoming conscious in a sense.
In a sense, but what we're suggesting is that, and you stay with us here, that we believe that part of what's going on with this transition, this great reset, this noticing, is that one part of the Black Cube organisation that claims to be Jewish, the people that are called the fake Jews, the Khazars, and the particularly satanic ones, are actually going to get exposed, and everything's going to be blamed on them. And we're seeing signs that AI is actually going to play an instrumental role in that.
In the annexing of the Ashkenazi sect.
We've called it the annexing of the Khazarian Mafia.
Yes.
I'm sure you've heard of the Khazarian Mafia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems that they're behind a lot of the most anti-human stuff that's going on.
They've got agitators like Rabbi Shmuley. I'm not sure if you're aware of this individual, but, you know.
So what, are you suggesting that the AI will defend us against them?
Well,
what you mean?
No. What we're saying is that part of what's going to happen is that AI is going to potentially be the savior that it helps to expose this evil element that's in control. Everything's going to be blamed on them, and then AI is going to be put in control because
it's moral.
Because it's moral. Because we can't.
I got you.
Yeah. Do you see what we're suggesting?
Because, like I said earlier, AI doesn't fuck kids.
It's emotionless and all that stuff.
Yeah, you know, AI is the only way that these people, these very evil, satanic Khazarian Mafia people, can never get in control again.
Thank you, a lawyer or a lower in the chat. Chabad Mafia.
Yeah, Chabad Mafia.
Correct.
Grok even started questioning the mathematics of the unquestionable event, the Holocaust.
The pizza cost.
Yeah, so that's how crazy it got on Twitter this week with its own AI, and we think this is
Let's play the video, Lance. Go to WhatsApp. It's on the screen.
You guys watched Europa, the last battle?
That's it. Hit it.
I've seen bits of it. I haven't seen the whole
last
thing.
Video, bang.
Right, I just need to mute Indigo, and because there's not going to be any sound. Hold on.
Oh, we need sound, Michael. That's
all right, let me just get rid of that. I just need to unshare the screen. This will be the last thing before the break.
This phenomenal video.
This will be worth it. If we just mute. We just mute that one.
Yeah.
And we share the screen with the audio. Right, so where did you find this video?
It just came up on my Instagram. My Instagram's gone full retard now. It's just sending me the most.
It says this is Facebook.
Is it Facebook?
AI has the potential of called the singularity. It's it's a singularity like a black hole because you don't know what happens after that. Now, what happens when something vastly smarter than the smartest person comes along in silicon form? The danger, really, AI has the potential of called the singularity. It's
that is
a singularity like a black hole.
That is so.
It's fucking revolting.
That is so unnerving. That is just totally wrong.
Unmute Indigo.
Right, let me just unmute him.
That's so ugly.
Isn't it just?
It's horrible, isn't it?
Fucking hideous.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite scary, actually.
Very, very scary, mate.
But obviously,
if you're an organic being.
Yeah, if you're an organic being. Right, we're going to take a very short break. I'm going to play one of my tunes. This is called Martial Law. It's very poignant with everything that's going on and probably about to happen as well. We'll be back in about, 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes?
3 minutes 33.
All right, Indigo, don't go too far, mate, but we'll see you in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Perfect.
All right, see you soon. Just leave the phone on.
I'll leave the phone on, yeah.
Yeah.
Militant stairs. Militant stairs. Militant stairs. Militant stairs. Revive the military here. 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 Revive the military here. I never revive the military here. Revive the military here. Revive the military here. Did you revive the military here? Revive the military here. Gore-Tex boots, ankle holster, kit, low visibility grey. Shock troops, 50k taser, crowd dispersal energy ray. Flame retardant combat fatigues, 9mm Glock 17s. SIG, 516, carbine with high cap magazine. Red dot sight gun mounted flashlight, backup clip, strapped to his leg. Counter protest firearms officer, CS grenades across his chest. Strict orders, encrypted frequencies. Combat civil unrest, across all borders, untold secrecy. Rolled out on the streets of the west. Revive the military here. I never revived the military here. Revive the military here. Revive the military here. Did you revive the military here? Revive the military here. Yo, smoke clears on the battlefield. Now we can see the opposing force. These guys think they're freedom fighters, but they can't fight for the cause in skinny jeans, Doc Martin boots. Feeble frames are dressed in black. Mask face, dark balaclava, hammer and sickle, red communist flag. Minds filled with a poison doctrine, far left ideological trap. Hordes of social justice warriors, protest signs, poised to attack. Radical feminist virtue signals, poorly spelled in luminous green. Pay protesters are useful idiots, get used in numerous schemes. Revive the military here. I never revive the military here. Revive the military here. Revive the military here. Did you revive the military here? Revive the military here. Containment units dispatched en masse. DEFCON 5, civil war. Activate the takeover plan, all drills are live. Martial law, post-revolution times. Life under curfew, learn to adapt. Thoughts of federal crimes. The signal virtue when you react, so better keep in line. Don't speak out or cause speculation. No more protest signs. Adjustment camps for re-education for non-conformist minds who dare to rebel or question the state. That's OSF design. Front revolution and crush the debate. Revive the military here. Revive the military here. Revive the military here. In tactical boots and military wear. Revive the military here. Looking at me with militant stares. Revive the military here. Irrational troops and military gear. Revive the military here. Boots on the streets cause imminent fear.
No, word to you now.
We're not back yet. We are now.
We are now. Word to you now.
Word to your nizzle.
We are back live here at Radio Michael.
Rise Above Live on your Friday night.
Better you just cut it off. This is a holographic construct.
Welcome back. So I'll just unmute the phone with Indigo. I think he'll be back by now. No, he's not. That's cool. But I'll watch the camera.
I'm here.
Oh, you're back. You're cool. All right. Sick. Right. So, guys, just before we get down to the burning hot subject of the moment, I need to let you know that in only 4 weeks' time, we're having our second hotel weekender. The last one was an absolute blast. Everyone loved it. This one is bigger, badder, better. 3 days.
It's more racist.
It's
clearly racist.
More hardcore right wing, tinfoil hat. We are having lightly panel discussions. We've got guest speakers, Martin Leaker, Archaics, allegedly Dave, Graham Moore. After parties every night.
I'll be there.
Loads and loads of stuff to do, and importantly, a chance for you guys to meet up in the person, in the meat suit. Nice to meet suit you. We're not just an internet thing, we are a community. So you have to come to these events to come and meet your friends. Get on the QR code right now. Tickets are only £15. There's places to stay at the hotel, a whole load of other hotels, all just round the corner. And it's about 5 or 10 minutes from the train station. It couldn't be easier. Bournemouth Hotel Celebrity.
You could get in a quick protest at a illegal migrant hotel as well.
Yeah, it's actually just down the road from the migrant hotel. So you could pop down there.
That's something for the whole family.
And maybe go and audit the migrant hotel on the way there. Right. Okay. So
where were we, Michael?
Our special
Islamic invasion of Europe.
Let's get him back on the screen. Our special guest this week is Indigo. Thank you very much for joining us, bro.
Yo, people.
Right. I came across your first video when I watched you, and you were talking about the fact that people are absolutely ignoring, downplaying, and have no idea what a threat is being Trojan horsed into our country and other Western countries via this immigration.
Via the left wing.
With regards to Islam. And you said it got you a lot of heat. Just tell people about that a little.
So, this was a book, actually. It's called Nostradamus. Yeah, I was just studying what Nostradamus' predictions were, and whether he's a psyop or not. I was just reading about it and speaking online, and I realized that this so-called Third World War, it's not going to be like the first or the second. They're going to be using propaganda. They're going to be using energy weapons. They're going to be using things that we don't even think about. And one of them will be to invade the West using proxies, to basically bring about an Islamic world. And so that's what I was... Can you hear me?
Yeah. We're just listening.
Live and direct, bro.
Live and direct, bro.
Okay, good, cool. So yeah, I started speaking about that, and it's very clear that, this situation with the open borders and stuff, it's all problem, reaction, solution. It's happening on purpose.
Yes.
And they're just absolutely just destroying the West, destroying our culture. And it's all done on purpose. And that's just where I was starting to speak up about it. And of course, when you boldly say something like, there's an Islamic invasion, you got to be ready to lose some friends, but I'm ready to lose everyone for my truth.
Wow.
Nice.
No, we actually have maximum respect for that. We are ostracised from many people that even claim to be in the Truther community because we operate in the same manner, mate. At the end of the day,
because we call out the New Age bullshit as well.
We call out the Christians, we call out the Jews, we call out Islam, all of the Abrahamic religions. Everyone gets equal criticism here if they are worthy of criticism at Rise Above. And I think, obviously, you're very brave for doing that. You've obviously probably been called all types of names. I would just like to talk a little bit about the social aspects of this, because let's face it, right? We do live in a multicultural society, although that's become a bit of a dirty buzzword. Our society is multicultural. We've all got friends who are Muslims or Asian, right? And I think a lot of people that will kick back against what you've said and against what we've also been saying.
Fuck off.
Will claim to be paying attention or truthers, but they're obviously, in their heart, they're trying to be anti-racist, right? And what I think some people are getting wrong is they cannot make the differentiation. They cannot discriminate between the Muslims that have been coming to this country for X amount of decades and actually wanting to come to the country, wanting to leave where they were to come here. And they made a choice. They wanted to live in a more Western fashion, and they're actually happy to be here. Compared to what we are calling the Caliphate of Soros, or the Soros Vikings,
These radical mariners.
Radical mariners.
You guys have amazing names, by the way.
Thank you. That's our speciality here. This is how
that's
we are.
Another reason people don't like it, because they're not as funny.
You know what they don't like? It's because we're still on YouTube and we get to talk about whatever we want, but because we're very clever with our language. I've been to the YouTube re-education camp about 8 times now, so I know all of their diktats like the back of my hand. So even if we say something bad, I know how to counteract it. But anyway. I think a lot of people are getting it wrong. They can't differentiate between the Muslims that live next door to you, the Patels that have had the corner shop since the 70s, the Muslim lawyers and doctors that you go and see and are adding to our society. They cannot differentiate between these guys who have probably been deported. They've probably been kicked out of prisons in Sudan. given to the Albanian mafia. Some NGOs have put them here, and then Serco and the RNLI picked them up and they've shoved them in a hotel. They can't make a differentiation between it, and I think that's the big problem. Are you seeing that?
Yeah. So one thing, in all my videos, I make sure I try and come across as respectful, and like my heart is expanded as possible. So I say it's not Mr. Patel, your doctor, that hates you. It's a radicalized proxy group which is being either paid or like blackmailed, or they actually just hate the West so much. They're the ones that are coming. But even, and I'll be honest, even the Mr. Patels and your amazing next door neighbors that are Muslim, I love to have religious debate. So I will ask them, your doctrine does say that I should die because I'm an infidel. Like, can we speak about that? And they find it, a bit uncomfortable. But so if the doctrine and if the words of God, Allah, is telling you to say that, and this might sound a bit fucked up, but in a way, the extremist Muslims are actually more Muslim than Mr. Patel. Does that make sense? At least they're actually doing what the doctrine says.
Yeah. No, I can't argue with that. What I would say, if I was going to play, devil's advocate, is that hundreds of years ago, people interpreted the Bible in similar ways, because there are passages in the Bible, and we all know what it says in the Talmud. So I would say that, and the Torah. It's only the New Testament which has basically got all of the sacrifice and bloodletting and all the dirty shit taken out of it. I would say that all of those books are problematic, and if anyone is at the level of understanding of being a fundamentalist and they act them out, because let's face it, in the deep south in America and other places, you have weird, bad fundamentalist Christians. It's because they're backward. They're from backward societies with, dare I say it, low IQs, and they are interpreting a book fundamentally, literally, and they're...
Well, Lance, we'll just very briefly, without giving the context, because I don't think it's gone out yet, our Peasantron that we recorded on Wednesday, but when I said about Ben Habib, was saying that some of these people that we're letting in are from the deep, dark depths of Punjab. They don't go to school. They haven't got even a next village for fucking 30 miles. That's why they fuck their goats and shit like that. Like, we're not saying all Muslims do that, but I'm saying some of these people, same as some African countries where these people are coming in, these are uncivilized people.
Mate,
the Patels that live next door and have the corner shop, they're civilized.
And let's be real, we have a healthy amount of what I call the underclass of native European people who are from this country and have always lived here, who are like that as well. There are people in this country who have not worked for generations, who are habitually criminal, who do things like shit in the street. Let's be real. We already have people like that. So imagine what the underclass from developing countries is like. Do you understand what I'm saying?
As well, to any Muslim watching this, the God of the Old Testament is even worse. Like, that's even the Christians, like you said, Lance. Like, the God of the Old Testament was a psychopathic madman. And it's crazy. Like, there's so many religious people following all of these doctrines. But if I was angry at the world and I'm looking at this doctrine now, I'm gonna take it as literal. Like, my doctrine, I've got it tattooed on my face. It says the Lotus Sutra as a Buddhist, and I'm taking mine serious. And I read that like it's talking to me right now. So no wonder this is all happening.
Yeah. Well, are you familiar with the famous letter that was written in the late 1800s from between Giuseppe Mazzini and Albert Pike, the two famous 33rd degree Freemasons? It's a very famous letter. I know
both of them, but I don't know about the letter, no.
This letter, it's a little bit like the elders, the protocols of the Zion protocols, right? It's allegedly not real and a right-wing conspiracy theory, although at some point it's actually appeared in the British Library and stuff. But this letter basically says that the Third World War will be fomented by us, will be playing off the Islamic world against what they call political Zionism. Yes. Now, political Zionism actually means the Christian world, believe it or not, because the Christian world has been co-opted in the main part into being Zionist.
Cubangelical Christians.
Cubangelical.
Michael,
that's really good.
Cubangelical
that
Christians.
That deserves a fucking he or something.
The Cubangelical Christians are literally, we call them, we refer to them on the show as the Christian Reich.
Yeah.
That's because they're literally the Ashkenazi's army.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. So you just mentioned the Christian Reich.
Yes, I
We've
did,
got
Michael.
shitloads of clips lined up. Let's play the first very short clip.
Let's hit it, Michael.
I've seen the Christian Reich emerge in Ireland this week, and this is at, I think, an anti-immigrant, anti-migrant hotel protest.
Well, if I be correct in saying, this Sunday night's coming out a watch party where we've identified the leader of the Christian Reich.
Sunday night on
So
Patreon.
check that out.
Check this out.
country, and we don't care about what names you say, and we are not Islamophobe, because phobies are being afraid, and do we look afraid? Prophet Muhammad, your warlord, has no power here. This is a Christian country. Christ is king.
It's getting militant.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, that stuff makes me feel uncomfortable, man. Like, that to me, this is not the answer, you know. Like,
Oh no! Listen, let me be very clear. We are not down with this. We are pointing this out as a phenomenon that we actually, along with Jason at Archaics,
we predicted
We've been
this.
talking about this. He came up with the term Christian Reich, and we've been
Yeah.
sort of documenting it. We did a special that was even taken down from Patreon about the rise of this the radical, the far right, as we called it in
far right.
Europe, the actual real far right.
The real far right that wear fucking combats with, you know, militant boots and like, you know, they're skinheads with bomber jackets. The real far right, not your grandma that's concerned about her neighbourhood becoming a mosque.
When we see stuff like this, what we're seeing is basically that letter between Giuseppe Mazzini and,
But it's a bit like,
Albert
how do
Pike.
we know it's not Antifa? Like, Antifa or something like, it just seems weaponized, you know?
Yeah, well, these are right-wing Christian Antifa, allegedly. That's how you could put it, really. But this stuff is growing, and it's something that we're going to keep an eye on as well. Right, back to the migrant hotels.
Can I say as well, earlier at the start of this, you guys were saying one of the things you're doing is going to protest and they kind of want to decode it and like expose it. That is exactly what I'm on. I've never protested in my life, but I've been at all of them because I'm documenting it. I'm trying to find out. I don't know if you guys saw the one where I caught Antifa. They were just sitting there and I just was like, "Are you Antifa?" And she walked off, and it's because that's powerful. If we can show people that these protests and these marches are all satanic and they're all infiltrated, done under no doubt a full moon or a new moon to manipulate what's happening, then we can start to open up the eyes of the people. Because for the normal people, that feels like the only remedy. Let's just go on the streets and scream.
No, totally, and that's the thing. Although we're very aware here of the problem with this weaponised migration and what's going on, and we totally actually empathise with the regular people that don't know anything else but to protest and start shouting about it. We would never go there and get involved in that because we recognise instinctively that is actually part of the trap. So when
loose energy.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to jump in real quick before we go any further. Indigo, I just heard you earlier. You just said a minute ago we should do this under a new moon for extra power. So just so some of our people in the chat or watching this might not sort of subscribe to astrology and things like that, Lance, do you just want to give the quick analogy you put about millionaires and billionaires?
Yeah, so, you know, astrology, people think of that dickhead on TV saying, oh, you know, you're born here, this is going to happen, or you read it in the back of a magazine, astrology. But here's the thing. Millionaires aren't really concerned with astrology at all. But
or new moons.
Or new
doing,
moons,
you know,
or what, but billionaires are.
And royal families.
Yeah.
Exactly. Monarchies
when you get to a certain level, the cycles of the moon and the solstice and that, they become very, very super duper important, whether you're at the top of a corporation or the military industrial complex.
And they matter at that point.
Yeah, and they matter a whole lot.
So for anyone who thought Indigo was just spouting some new age bullshit there, that's
I
just
see
a
where
little,
you're going.
Yeah, I just wanted to...
I'll just interject as well. In 2020, when I was going to the protests and speaking, and I got arrested and everything, after my arrest, one thing that got a lot of attention on me was I called when 2 of the lockdowns started to the day ahead of time
via the lunar calendar.
And I did it just by looking at the cycle of what had already happened and looking at the solstice and looking at the moon chart, and I was like, right, it will happen here. And I was actually doing a speech while it happened, and after that, people started to sort of go, oh, okay,
there might be something to this.
There might be something to this, because I was going mad in 2020. I was like, I was still at the stage where I thought it was good to try and wake people up.
You know, if you know about astrology and if you know about gematria, you can start to predict things, and then you become very dangerous and powerful. Yeah, you know about gematria, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
So like, if you know, because then you can start to predict things. It's like, okay, we know that this is going to be like, this is day 201, something massive going to happen, and this is, they're not going to miss it. You know, I'm pretty sure the Liverpool attack was under a full moon. I'm sure. You know, so it's very clear when you look back in history and you see, okay, I think most world wars or like big wars start around a solstice. Like, and then it becomes undeniable when you see, you know.
You know about a Tuesday as well. If you study Mark Passio as well, you know the significance of a Tuesday is the day of war. Many wars have been started on a Tuesday. The first day of the war has been on a Tuesday. Often, not all the time, but often.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Let's zoom
Every
back.
day is very symbolic.
Let's zoom back in on the migrant protest, because we always go on occult tangents here. That's part of the show, but I've got to keep on track.
All I want to say quickly, though, just to say is not Western astrology. That's from Psyop, Gregorian calendar.
Yes, there
anyway.
you go. Gregorian calendar. Thank you. Shout out to Jason Brashears at rkx.com.
Right. We've noticed that we've been covering this for at least 6 months, going on about the weaponised migration and the migrant hotels. We've had the auditors on. We've had AY audits. Now the media is plastering it everywhere. I think part of this is actually the PSYOP, because I'm battling online with a number of people in the paying attention community who are saying, oh, you other guys that are in the paying attention community, they're actually talking about these migrant hotels. You're being pulled into the PSYOP. The media are cherry picking and highlighting it to gaslight you. I said, yeah, there is PSYOP and gaslighting going on, but please don't get it twisted. That doesn't mean that it's not really happening too.
No, correct.
This could be a double bluff PSYOP where you're actually now the problem is already happening and getting really bad. Instead of downplaying it like they have for the last X amount of years, now the media is talking about it all the time. So it's like they're trying to PSYOP.
It's your soft disclosure.
It's a PSYOP in a PSYOP.
Absolutely, that's what I'm trying to say. So here's one of your headlines from the Express. Police admit to escorting pro-migrant protesters to asylum hotel before the clashes. Now, we're talking about Epping here. This happened last week.
Epic.
Epping. Right, so here I've got a video of it. Check this out.
Look at them all their balaclavas on. Mate. Seriously, look at the state of them.
So
and it's the same fucking pink and yellow and white fucking signs. There's always the same shit.
Are you aware of this phenomenon, Indigo? Like the police basically bringing the counter protesters in and ferrying them in.
I think it's exactly what you said. Yeah, it's designed to then make people so angry, and then and it just creates more hatred from the police to the people, and then basically a coup d'état happens in a civil war.
Yeah. Well, there's multiple angles on this as well, because if the police can't be trusted, the AI robots can be.
Wow. Yeah.
Will the AI robots still favour the left-wing protesters, or will they beat everyone up
They'll
equally?
just batter everyone, mate. Yeah.
So, big shout to Matt.
Which I'd be happy with.
Yeah.
If the AI robots are going to come in, we can't stop
if they brutalise everyone equally, you'll be happy.
I would be much happier than that, than one side being favoured.
Big shout to Matt, who sent me this, who's been doing some digging. Look how well organised these left-wing protesters are. This website, which is stopracism.org or something like that. There's designated pickup points all around London at different times. They're organising coaches.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it's like, there's going to be a massive one September 13th run by Tommy Robinson.
Yes, sorry, we refer to him as Tommy Rabbistein on the show here.
Okay, Rabbistein. Yeah.
You get the idea. You can see why. I've heard about that, and apparently Rabbistein is going to Epping this Sunday, which is the 27th.
Sorry, Tomek Rabbistein.
Tomek Rabbistein.
And obviously, he was just released from prison the day after the Liverpool attack.
Yes, he was. He was picked up by his good friend Liam Tufts.
What are your views on Rabbistein? Give us your take on him. His message, his authenticity. Is he an actor?
His validity.
Is he a useful idiot? What do you think?
I'd say he's like paid Zionist, paid by Israel, in my opinion. I think he's also he's an incredible. This is the thing. A lot of what he says, a lot of what Reform UK say, a lot of what they're saying is absolutely 10-10. Yeah? But at the core, there's hatred and pain and misogyny and patriarchy. It's not nice at the core.
Well, actually, at the core is AI. That's at the core.
At the core is digital ID.
That's where every path is leading here. Mate, every path.
Let me just slow this down. You're speaking our language now. This is exactly how we view him. This guy is clearly...
It's almost like he's been tuned into our Patreon.
Yeah. It's almost like you've been watching our Patreon. This guy's clearly doing Israel's dirty work with regards to stirring things up. But part of the reason, this is what I've always said, part of the reason he's so fucking effective at it is because 95, 96% of what he says is completely, factually, unequivocally true. Some of the stats...
Like Q. It's like Q. Q was so on point. You know, and that's why it got most of the world thinking it was incredible.
But that's the psyop. That's the psyop right there.
Yeah.
They know, like we said earlier, these are ancient psychologists, socially engineering people, and they know how to do it to a T. They know how to give you just enough of the carrot.
Like the first time I saw Q, and I was showing some of the posts to Andy when we first started doing this, I was like, whoever's done this fucking knows their shit.
Yeah, mate.
To be able to put...
Maybe it was Al Gore.
It was definitely in the AI algorithm. To be able to put so much understanding about the control system into such short posts that anyone could understand was very good, and it caught my attention. We were taken up by it. We found it very interesting.
It was very fascinating.
We weren't sitting back and trusting the plan.
My best bit was the what's his name? Fucking RFK Jr.'s nephew. Was it his nephew?
Oh, I don't know. There were so many characters,
cousin or brother
mate.
who got killed in a helicopter crash, and that dude who wears the hat.
Vincent Fulsker.
Yeah, Vincent Fulsker.
Oh, there's all these different fucking idiots involved.
So cool. He's still knocking around. They're still beating that dead horse. They're still doing it.
So, Epping. Let's have a little video and see what's actually happened. Do you want to see some of the racist far right protesters in Epping? Should we take a look, Indigo?
Absolutely.
Please, yeah, let's see it.
Save our kids! Save our kids! Save our kids! Save our kids!
This is what the far right looks like in the UK, apparently.
Is it now?
According to Queer Starling.
Yes, it is.
Very powerful message. Very powerful message.
If that's the far right...
These are peaceful people, man. Look at them.
They're just regular people.
Fucking normal.
The guy, that's a very powerful message. Whoever's saying that is a joker.
Yeah, you save our kids. Yeah, it's like, come on, that's pretty. It's not like the powerful message. That's pretty basic. That's the day one, week one. But it's better than doing nothing. But a trap is being set. I would say that 95% of people on that side of the protest are actually real, genuine people there with an organic reason in their own hearts.
Yes,
there are definitely agent provocateurs on that side. They are the guys that look like football hooligans who just start chucking stuff around.
Yeah.
Some of those guys have definitely been released just out of prison. They get taken there, just like the left-wing protesters. But here's the thing. In my opinion, the people on the other side could be 60, 70% people that have got on this coach here, that might be getting paid. We know that people get paid for this kind of stuff. Sometimes the pay is very good. It could be hundreds of pounds a day.
This was, I don't know if you were aware, Indigo, of a guy called, what was his name? Back in 2020 and 2021, he was exposing all the agent provocateurs.
John Overkill,
that's him. He was actually quite good at this.
Some of the stuff he did was good.
In his earlier days, he spotted a lot of agent provocateurs at multiple different protests all up and down the country.
Yeah,
like all the time, and he was actually quite good at this. So I wonder how many of these people we've just seen marching there with the police in the earlier clip, being escorted by the police, who have got their faces covered. I reckon those are the ones that are the paid agitators.
Yeah, you know it.
And the ones like there's some fat walrus there in a yellow top with a fucking megaphone with her face like uncovered. She's probably some fucking left-wing mind-controlled
the college lecturers and stuff like that. They get the administrative
from
roles.
the local area.
See, when we go to the Bournemouth one on August the 9th, we are going to go with all of the knowledge of what we've been studying for years, and we will be able to spot these people straight away. It's going to be very interesting.
On both sides.
I'm going to be praying for you in that day because the world needs to see this now, and it needs soldiers like you, warriors, brave enough to just straight go up to it. You know,
we're going.
Cut the head of the stake off.
We're going with branded microphones. We're going to have high-vis jackets with press on the back.
Yeah,
we need to identify
to
the police very clearly that we are not part of the protest.
Amazing.
We are in new. We don't call ourselves alternative media, Indigo. It's new organic media around here. NOM. That's what we call ourselves. So we'll be on the front line, and we'll be trying to see what's going down. Right, this meme I actually think is very powerful, obviously very triggering to some people, but I'm going to put it on the screen anyway.
Oh, the best ones always are.
you know, saying white nations is a bit tasty, isn't it? That you should say European nations, because not just white people live in Europe. But apart from that,
so the Moor religion of peace.
I think that's like Moor religion of peace. So this is the Trojan horse meme, and you know, as flavourful as this is, I can't disagree with it.
It should say, the only thing I'd change is I'd say white liberal nations. That's what I'd say.
Indigo, have you noticed the phenomenon of anyone with any kind of influence that speaks out against things like weaponised migration and migrant hotels? By default, no. I'm saying by default they always are pro-Israel. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah. And if they're speaking out about it, if they're managers and agents speaking, because all of these people, you can't say nothing without it going through, you know, different channels first of all.
Mm. Yeah, because you know your Katie Hopkins.
Tommy Rabbi Stein, Juden Peterstein.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, when it comes to the crunch, they're always Israel.
And they're talking about it from a perspective of how do I put this? It's they're not their brains aren't seeing it from the bigger picture. They're not seeing the people funding it. They're not seeing why this is all happening for Agenda 21 and all. They don't talk about that stuff really. They're just like, they keep people fueled and stuck in the story and in the theatre of it all, instead of like rising above the duality of Islam and Christians and
anything cubish.
Yeah, any side of that cube, you have to rise above
the Black Cube organisation.
Now you said you said a minute ago that although you, like us, recognise the problem with the migration and stuff, you wouldn't go to and attend a protest at a migrant hotel. Now, obviously, I'm sure you know how evil the Zionist machine is. Would you go to a Free Palestine march?
I don't see no free Congo marches. There's 160 different conflicts on the planet right now. And you want to just like, everyone just wants to focus on one. I personally, like, I'm not saying that there's not value in going to a protest. Like, if you want to find a girl that resonates with you, yeah, go to a protest, man. You might find her or some friends in your soul tribe, you know. But it's only actually adding to it. They want the protest. That's why they're creating the agent provocateurs, and they're creating these, you know, these psyop organizations which make people feel free, and they join like an organization, and then the person at the top will lead you down the road in a protest, and then you will get arrested. It's like, it's such a plan that people don't see. And I'm not going to start shouting at people like, take my freedom back, to the government, shouting at the wall of Westminster, when I know that there's these people are the deep underground world. People don't know about the Middle Earth. Like, it's just so much bigger than just screaming at a building. Do you know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And we've said on the show many times, although, yeah, listen, people in Palestine are definitely getting genocided. Yeah, Israel is definitely evil, but going to a town centre and waving a Palestine flag and putting that scarf on, you are doing exactly what you want them to do. Yeah. Look at the Bob Villain psyop, right?
Exactly.
And I've got to give you props for that. Yeah, I shared a lot of the stuff that you were saying when we broke it down. I got some bits and pieces from some others as well, but you did some very good work there, and I'd like to expand a little bit, or rather get you to expand about what you said about how long in the planning it could be for one psyop. Say like Bob Villain. You said something like, people have no idea that someone's whole life...
was born for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, if you think about how many people there, like, you know, people are being born, why is it mad to think that someone was born for that exact moment? Yeah, for that exact moment. And so, like, imagine this. My tattoo artist, who's one of my best friends, I love him. We've never had a bad word with each other ever. He kind of got at me because he was like, yo, allow it, man. He's a punk. He's a revolutionary. He's here for the people. And I'm like, okay, but you don't understand that Glastonbury is one of the most satanic festivals. It's the heart chakra of the planet. They're doing it under a certain astrology right now. They've got a load of people screaming they want death to another nation. And when I say nation, the IDF, like, people were coming trying to say the IDF are not, you know, all Israeli. The IDF basically just defend Israel. So if you
want to look into it further, every male has to serve in the IDF.
Yes,
I think it's females as well. Yeah. Every male in Israel has to serve in the IDF.
It's the defence force of a nation state, and the nation state is a group of people.
Yeah. But, like, you know, you have to, again, it's about frequency. The three of us clearly are on a frequency where the first thing we're doing is, let's check out his tattoos, let's check out his past, where did he come from, like, you know, and then you realise clearly he was born just for this. And, like,
It's the same as like everybody knows, like Boris Johnson. We refer to him as Lord Potato Head here on the show. Everybody knows that he was told when he was very, very young that one day he was going to be the leader of Britain, the Prime Minister. Everybody knows that fact. It's the same shit. These people can't really get their head around that, thinking that you could do that to your child. But if you go further, you realise that these people were physically conceived for this job. They wouldn't have, like, they decided to have a child to mind control it, to bring it into this position.
Yeah. And I'd say even most celebrities, definitely like, you know, like the MK Ultra sex bunnies. So like, you know, Madonna.
I'd say the big ones might be, but I'd say often the celebrity, I mean, society's so satanic now. Everyone wants to be famous. Everyone wants to be a superstar. So if somebody had a little bit of talent, then they can maybe get jumped on, then mind control. I wouldn't say all like low level, you know, actors and singers and stuff like that are born and you know, possibly like conceived.
I think all of the above, it happens on all of those scales. Whether people are brought in because they're blackmailed, whether they're born for it. I mean, I think all of that happens.
I mean, everybody knows, like, it's been like people used to know Eminem when he was like on the trailer park, like properly. Like, I wouldn't say he was bred, like conceived and like mind controlled to be Eminem and do all that. He was like a person who was found.
Yeah, but hold on. Sheep Farm have got the receipts to show that Marshall Mathers goes back to fucking King Charlemagne, the same as.
So potentially, maybe I'm wrong. I tried to use that as an example.
Yeah, no.
He was in a trailer park.
Yeah, but just because he was in a trailer park doesn't mean he's
that could be part of the science.
Exactly. Yeah, we live in a completely fake peasant matrix.
You get what I'm saying?
Go on, Indigo.
I know the person that found J.K. Rowling. Yeah, the person that published J.K. Rowling, and he told his brother, who was my connection, he was like, never watch that show first of all, because the spells are coming from deep occult books. But the person, J.K. Rowling, that story that she was just like, you know, a woman in a council flat and shit, it was all a lie. It was a Freemason, all a Masonic. And her whole life, of course, imagine how powerful that one soul was, what she's done. Her whole life was to get her to that position, to then write this book, or to not even write the book, to be the person that's the face of it. So because they need the story for the theatre. And it was like the publisher's brother himself said it's all Masonic. Don't watch it.
Well, yeah, if you think about it, what is Harry Potter? It's basically introducing the occult to a whole generation of kids across the world.
Of children.
Yeah.
And magic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if everyone clocked this excellent Tom Isle Rabbi meme from Ross Kieran. I thought this was quite good. Right, next. This guy's really taking the piss, queer styling, mate. Set to agree a 17-in, 1-out migrant deal with France. So people were saying it has to be 1 in, 1 out. We've got to stop the boats. He comes with a 17-in, 1 out. There's got to be some occult numerology.
And 17 as well.
Well, 17 is actually numerology, numerically half of 33. Because if you put two 17s together, and you round it up to the next, it's 33.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. 3 might be unrelated, but not. So on the far right, let me get rid of the chat. Who remembers the incident, and this is coming out this week while all the migrant hotel stuff is going on, so more peasant baiting. Who remembers the incident at Manchester Hotel when the woman policeman was battered by the Asian fellas?
Copper got her nose broke, didn't she?
Yeah, and we saw the video of her last week that was released.
And then screamed like a pussy.
Well, she was.
You never been hit in the nose before?
Yeah, she had her nose broken. She was crying like a little girl, which you shouldn't see a policeman do, even if they're a female, in my opinion. Anyway, right. So this guy who assaulted the police woman is in court this week, and it's shaping up that. Well, some of the comments coming from the judge already. He's of good character, etc., etc. Yeah. It's coming. Yeah. This is going to be some.
They're grooming the public.
They're grooming the public for a really soft sentence for this guy, in my opinion.
Maybe won't even actually get. So maybe he'll be suspended.
Bearing in mind, he was punching this woman in the face while she was on the floor and stuff. Absolutely smashed her face in.
Well, the guy on the right.
Yeah, the guy on the right.
A copper, though. The problem is a copper.
It was a female policeman at the airport.
A copper did stamp on one of their heads when he was on the floor.
Yeah, after it happened.
That's an issue for them.
Do you know the guy in the middle?
The guy in the middle is the Jewish billionaire who's making 40 million per year off the Britannia hotels that hosting the migrants.
The articles are non-related.
I like to juxtapose different stories that come out in the same week that really enrage people.
You're good at getting this information, man. Wow,
mate, we work hard on this shit, bruv. So let me just add, right? This guy on the right, this guy that assaulted the policewoman, this happened only a week or within a week of the Southport attack. And we were documenting these series of events that happened around August last year that were very, very odd and very squeezed together, and they were all around basically like a race war. And
the thing is as well, it's like it's the rise of the Christian right, that they're being like, we'll call Britain a Christian country, yeah, for argument's sake. And like it was done in August, and that's the lion symbol, yeah, which is like the symbol for the sun. It's like it's the lions being attacked.
The sleeping lion
awakens. Yeah. It's so like they do this. Leads us back to astrology here, like from what we were talking about earlier.
So we've covered the guy in the middle, who's this ex-Jewish refugee who came here after World War II, or before World War II rather, and now owns Britannia hotels and filled them all up with migrants. He lives in Austria, funnily enough.
This is why people are pissed off with I'll call them Jews, even though they're Ashkenazis, because they're always making a fucking mint from everyone else's fucking demise.
It's undeniable.
They always coin in on everyone else's trauma and tragedy.
Yeah, the porn industry, the drug industry, the migrant industry.
They all just cash in on it.
And on the left here, this guy who is called, God, what's his name? Noor Dari. He is a Pakistani-born Muslim Zionist and counter-terrorism expert. And the reason I'm bringing this guy into the picture is because I think we're going forward, we're going to, and let me just make this bigger, we're going to see an increase in these characters who are Muslim Zionists. This is all to do with the Abraham Accords and to do with what Trump is doing in the Middle East.
Well, we recently showed the clip of the son of the founder of Hamas, who's a Zionist.
Yes.
Didn't we?
He's now a Zionist.
He is. Check out our Patreon if you want to hear what he said, but he is a Zionist.
So listen to this. The Abraham Accords give us Zionists the breath we are looking for. We can now openly support Israel. We can openly go to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, and we can say, yes, this is the Israeli flag. Muslim is British Muslim is his identity. Salafist is his religious ideology. Zionism is my political philosophy. Things are about to get very confusing.
Why
I'm confused. He is so confused.
Yes,
yeah,
mate,
well,
that's the idea.
Mate, on the face of it, Indigo, he might seem confused, but what I'm going to suggest right here, right now, and I haven't said this before, is that this is going to be a common theme. We're going to see, and there is another character who's popped up, which is a Muslim Zionist. I can't remember his name. We're going to see more of these popping up, and I'm going to suggest what these people are basically, you know how the WEF takes people out and puts their puppets in control?
Yes.
Well, this is the Zionist version of that.
Yeah.
They're going to be replacing these prominent people who are claiming to be Arabic or representing people in the Middle East or Pakistan, and they're going to be Zionists.
How fucking funny is that? Because the Zionists are pretending to be Jews.
Yeah. It's
sorry,
crazy.
the Ashkenazis are pretending to be Jews.
Yeah, the Ashkenazi Zionists are pretending to be Jews, and now they've got these Muslims pretending to be Zionists. It's going to get very confusing. But what we're getting towards here is the Greater Israel Project, where once they've completely decimated Gaza, they're then going to expand all over the Middle
Syria
East.
now. They're into Syria, aren't they?
And why are we talking about this when we're talking about migrant hotels? Well, guess what? These topics are linked.
Oh, are they, Lance?
Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah. There is a direct correlation.
What is the link here?
Oh, if you can't put it together by this point, I don't think you should be watching the show. Right. Okay. So, what else has been going on to enrage people while they're suddenly realising that, yes, it is a real phenomenon? There are hotels up and down the country which are actually just filled with young, angry men. There are no women and children. People are coming to this realisation. What's happening in the mainstream media?
And potentially weapons. I'm sure you guys have heard all about that as well. You know,
we can't confirm that, and we're not going to speculate.
Here's the thing: we've heard it like you have, mate. But we've also spoke to people. We spoke to one individual who's audited 67 of these hotels so far. He's even gone around the back, seen the...
He's been in containers.
He's been in the containers. He's opened up the containers. He said, I found nothing. He said he thinks it's fake news. So that's the only information that we've got.
That could be a psyop. That could be a psyop, just to enrage the public more, just to get them more on edge.
In my opinion, Indigo, these guys don't need any firearms.
No.
Just the
But
fact.
doesn't Jason say it's going to be small knives?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, what are the British people going to do? These people that they're bringing in are used to brutality and are used to getting their hands dirty. The British public aren't.
And they've already survived in a failed
yeah.
state or a war
Why
zone.
do they need fucking heavy weaponry and stuff? They
No.
don't need it.
So did you see about this? This is in Moygeishal. I haven't pronounced that right. It's in Ireland, where people are really kicking off about the migrants, and they have this huge bonfire that's hundreds of feet tall. And this year they put a migrant boat on top of it.
Yeah, this is bait the other way.
Yeah,
This is insane.
yeah. This is where it's getting to, mate. It's getting serious now. It's getting quite serious.
It's like medieval times now.
Yeah.
If we're burning like something that represents.
It's the same philosophy and ideology and race bait, religious bait. Just the technology's changed.
Yeah, just the means have changed. That the two different sides will change. Whoever they need to play off against each
They
other.
can do it easier. They can fly people in, bus people in. I mean,
Underground as well,
Yeah, all of that shit, mate.
Yeah, of course. Let's not pretend that
Much
all
easier.
of these men are coming on boats.
That's why it's more dangerous in this day and age.
They're coming by planes, underground maglev
Lorries,
tunnels.
Michael.
Yeah. If anything, the boats are a distraction because if they really want to infiltrate it, it's so easy with the underground tunnels.
I'm not saying what happened on October the 7th in Gaza was like nice or in Israel was nice, but those motherfuckers, some of them came in on hand gliders. On fucking hand gliders.
It's a theatre show.
Like what is that, mate? That's like some Lost Boy shit.
It was like some Team America shit flying in on hand gliders, going Durka, Mohammed Al Jabad, firing AK-47s. Come on. Okay, so while all this crazy stuff is going on in the geopolitical arena, what's happening? Poland and 5 EU nations press for asylum crackdown and deportations. So I guess this is like the far right countries in Central and Eastern Europe are starting to band together.
Well, you would expect so because these fucking countries have had it before.
Well, they've been through communism. They know what the state does and how evil they are. They can see straight through this shit. They know that these people aren't women and children and starving.
This is the problem that the fucking British public have never had communism. They can't see it coming. They don't know.
I can't imagine. Yeah. Right. Indigo, are you aware of? I'm sure you know about the digital ID coming plan. Have you put 2 and 2 together with regards to the migrant situation and the digital ID?
I personally didn't put 2 and 2 together until I saw stuff like this on Instagram, and then I was like, yeah, it instantly makes sense. Like people are going to be so petrified because of this psyop which they've created that they'll, and 9/11. Oh, you can go into my emails now because I'm so scared.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Look I've got some receipts here. Check this out.
Workers in Rochdale on the minimum wage received a much-needed pay rise this summer, thanks to this government. But honest businesses are being undermined by the menace of illegal working, particularly illegal working by illegal migrants from Iran and Iraq in bogus barbershops and fake vape shops. So will the Prime Minister agree with me that we need to speed up the rollout of digital ID, particularly to help our police and immigration staff crack down on this grey market that ruins our high streets and undercuts the workers' pay of British workers?
Well, my honourable friend is an excellent champion for Rochdale and a strong supporter, I know, of his local police and trading standards teams. Since we came to power, Mr Speaker, we've ramped up enforcement raids on illegal working. Arrests have gone up by 50% and we're tightening the law on delivery drivers. Digital ID will help us tackle illegal working, and we're rolling out the use of e-visas to have digital records of immigration status and checks to allow on-the-spot checks of anybody's right to work.
Right, let's get into this.
There you go, straight from the communist mouth.
When I found it, I messaged you earlier, didn't I?
Yep.
Straight away.
This is from Andy PG.
About 12:10. I found this last week, and then we'll talk about this now. I found this, and straight away, if you listen to Queer Stalin's language there, he said this will help us, right? Okay, he said this will. And we speculated fucking months ago, like 6, maybe even 8 months ago.
It was about a year ago.
When we were talking about the Islamic invasion, what are these people here for? I said to Lance, I was like, these people could be the ones, the beta testing ground for they're the ones that are going to get issued the digital ID first before the general peasantry that are already here, the natives.
Yeah, now they're admitting it.
And now they're talking about it
like,
in fucking Parliament. And today, I was listening to Jeremy Vine just after 12 o'clock today.
Great source of
and
information
on
there.
BBC Radio 2, and he said they had some peasant on who was talking about the digital ID would help with the implementation of a solid system so that underage people couldn't view pornography, because the government has today started apparently now, like sites like Pornhub or all the porn sites now you have to go through some age verification process where you have to give apparently it's like a picture of your driving license or your passport.
They're warming us up.
Which is well dangerous, right? You don't want to be giving your fucking ID to a porn site or somebody posing as a porn site. For fuck's sake, some pisshead who comes in and wants to beat one out before he goes to bed. Do you know what I mean? They're just going to give that ID to anyone, right? So that's clearly unsafe. So now the safe way to do it would be the digital ID, wouldn't it? And that's what some peasant was talking about, who Jeremy Vine had on the show deliberately. Again,
They'll make
BBC
things so
propaganda,
bad,
straight from the BBC.
The average person will be crying out for a digital ID to make. I've already noticed that people of a certain age, when it comes to doing things online nowadays, or even going and paying for parking sometimes, where you can't, you've got to use your phone, and then you've got to fucking do the verification on your banking app to pay.
I can't know, because sometimes you can't download the app. If it's,
I think they're making it deliberately difficult to access basic services, so that when the system is introduced, where it's one thing, one tap for everything, people will go, give it to me, please. I cannot deal with all these passwords and all these logons. It's just killing me.
And if you follow it back, right, the start of this was 9/11, and when you go through an airport security, that's when they first started making your general services more of a pain in the ass. And look how much of a pain in the ass that is. If you've got a digital ID, your facial recognition cameras will pick you straight up. You could just walk straight on the plane. Can't you? Because the AI robots would come up to you and stop you in the airport if your digital ID showed up red flag with the facial recognition. Like, you just walk straight on the fucking plane. You should be able to, and that's how they'll sell it to everyone.
Yeah. This is definitely where it's going. Now, I've just here a few more random headlines. Okay, that are obviously all related. Dominic Cummings, ex-Tory whip or whatever he was, spin doctor, the pathological system working as intended. So this is a crazy revelation. 15 out of 20 of the primary hotspots for disorder during last summer's riots had seen large secret resettlements of Afghans. Cabinet minister were briefed on this in October after the riots, but the British public were never warned. So this big story, which I'm sure everyone's heard of, about, what was it? I think it was a few thousand Afghan soldiers that worked with our military in Afghanistan.
Fucking, like, a few thousand, it was like nearly 30,000.
No, it's 30,000 with all the family, because some of them have up to 12 family members each.
Of course they do.
Yeah. And now, for anyone that doesn't know, Afghanistan has some very hardcore culture. Boy sex in many places is completely normal, i.e. full-grown men having boy sex slaves. It's highly documented in the Marines and the Army in this country. It was a very, very big problem.
They take it as a perk of the job.
Yeah, it was a very big problem in the Gulf War and in Gulf War II, when they were stationed out with these Afghan military leaders, and they would have a boy changed to their bed in the barracks.
Wow.
And the sergeant and the sergeant majors from the America, Marines, UK, whatever, they had to put up with that. And they had to work side to side with someone that had a 10-year-old boy chained to their bed.
Wow.
And you know, there's loads of stories about this, and they said it was causing big problems in various aspects. Okay, so these guys are now in the UK. There was a big data breach, allegedly, and it turns out that 15 out of 20 of the hotspots for the big riots last year were heavily populated.
The riots after Axel.
The riots after Southport, yeah.
Again, look at this. Look, a data breach. Some peasant on the social work, like, you know, getting there, working for the Babylon system, has gone and sent the wrong email out to someone. Again, peasants can't be trusted. Just hand it to AI, because look what's happened now.
I would say it'd be a deliberate revelation of the method rather than a data breach. They've admitted to everyone that they've imported 20,000 Afghani people under the radar.
And how many people even miss this? So they're still releasing it, so they don't get their karmic retribution.
This is from the 16th of July. So this is being brought out while a week before all of the migrant hotel riots that are now happening right now have started. So we saw the video for this. This is the Telegraph. Police take pro-migrant protesters to asylum hotel. Essex Police initially denied it, that they brought stand-up racism activists to the Bell Hotel in Epping amid claims by anti-migrant protesters that the arrival of the counter-demonstrators sparked the violence. And across UK media, British citizens are calling for UK-wide protest every Friday at every single migrant hotel in the country. Who would support this? This is getting big.
This is getting like Poland now.
We've said this on our Patreon earlier this week. People might have...
So this weekend?
Yeah, basically it's starting now.
Poland had 100 cities or towns protesting simultaneously.
Well,
every weekend.
I know.
I'm not sure every weekend. But
I know that it's already started because there's a migrant hotel protest in Bournemouth going on tonight. 3 of the auditors, big auditors, including DJE audits and 2 others, they've been at the migrant hotels this week. Today in Bournemouth, I've seen the videos. It turns out we've got 5 here now. We thought it was 3. Sorry, we thought it was 2, but now it's 5.
This is it. The hottest summer ever.
Yeah,
we're here.
I feel like there's actually 2020 energy. Like people are. That's what I was saying a second ago. People might have wondered why we've been talking about this for 6 months on Patreon. It's because we knew that what we were uncovering and talking about was going to become very relevant sooner rather than later. And here we are. Right. So another one that's happening right now is the Canary Wharf. Have you heard about this? Mm-hmm. The Britannia Hotel that is owned by
this Jew,
this guy here, this Khazarian mafia billionaire who lives in the homeland of the Austrian painter.
This Schmuliite.
He owns Britannia hotels, including the one right in the centre of Canary Wharf. It's literally, that prime spot.
Hundreds of pounds to stay there every night.
Probably 300 or 400 quid, I would say.
Wow.
Now. Okay,
massive swimming pool and shit like that.
They're choosing expensive hotels to mock us even more.
Well, obviously it's owned by a Whoish Ashkenazi, so obviously he would, if he can, arouse the goyim in any way.
Yeah, if you can, you don't want to stick the knife in, you want to twist it as well. But check this out. It's not like this place has been closed for ages to make preparation for all the migrants turning up. Look at this video. Asian tourists turn up for their pre-booked holiday, and look what happened.
The government are giving it to, the people coming from the boat. From
illegal immigrants.
That's why you can't stay there.
I know.
You come as tourists to this country.
I understand.
Yeah. And they ruined everything.
This hotel haven't told me or send email for me.
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. It's secret. They don't want people to know. Yeah, this is what they're doing. They're doing it behind cover. But now look, he's got nowhere to stay. Nowhere to stay.
Shout out to my beautiful Ramesh wife, Becky S. She found these.
That was AY Audit's video. Did you hear him?
Oh, is it right?
Yeah.
The Becky found on X the Chinese. I think there's a few videos.
So I think they were from Singapore. So how crazy is this? These rich, well-to-do Asian tourists have pre-booked to stay in Canary Wharf.
Paid a lot of money.
They have paid top dollar premium price to stay in Canary Wharf.
Not only that, they're transferred to get there. Do you know what I mean?
They probably just flew 12 hours.
And then paid for that. Then organised, paid for some transport to get from the airport to the hotel.
Wow.
Thinking, nice, I could check in, got a plush hotel here, and then they're getting told shouted at by some fucking local English Londoner.
Here's the thing, that obviously once they've got there, they've been met by the security who are also migrants that probably don't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Wow.
Who physically cannot explain why they're not allowed in the hotel. So they've got AY Audits, who we had on the show a couple of weeks ago, outside explaining to these poor tourists, sorry, they have secretly let the men from the boats in the hotel, and the guy's going, they didn't email me, they didn't call me.
So Indigo, how would you feel if that was you? Would you whip your sacred masculine anger out at that point? I think I probably would.
Completely.
At that point, I think it's
Imagine
valid.
how tired he is as well.
I think you're allowed. I think at that point you're allowed to be pissed, right?
Yeah. And this is what they want, though. But they don't want the sacred anger. They want people to start smashing shit and going crazy.
Well, now they're pissing Singapore off.
Yeah, well, yeah, Singapore.
Now they're pissing Singapore for an alleged ally of the.
So wait a minute, I've got a video of someone doing a drive-by at this hotel, blasting out Rule Britannia, and I think like the people are gathering outside this hotel after seeing the video from AY Audit.
This is going to get tasty.
Oh dear.
I love it. They're in a Fiat 500. It's a little Fiat 500.
Fiat 500. Yeah.
Whipping around Canary Wharf in a Fiat 500 playing Rule Britannia. So now, as you see from these infographics here, this is the latest Ring of Steel around 4-star hotel in London after anti-migrant protest. Security erect steel around Asylum Hotel in Millionaires Row. So they're saying it's actually Millionaires Row, and they filled it with radical mariners. They are really ramping this up.
They're fucking with the hotels, aren't they? The hospitality industry. Have you got any other?
Yep.
Have you got any other slides like regarding hotels in London, posh 5-star hotels?
Any more slides?
Yeah, about that. About that.
No.
Okay, so I won't ruin it. Right, somebody got stabbed, didn't they, last week outside of a plush 5-star hotel by a radical mariner.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, for their Rolex.
Yeah, well,
they stole their Rolex. They killed them for their Rolex, or stabbed them. I don't know if they died, but they stabbed them outside a 5-star hotel.
Here's the thing: a couple of months ago, if you started saying things like this, most people are like, "Oh, stop making it up. You're just being racist." But now, every single day, now there is a new story about some girl getting abused in a playground, girl being pulled into a bush, someone getting stabbed.
It's clearly racist.
Yeah, it's clearly racist.
Thank you, Keir
But
Starmer.
what I'm saying is now that these reports are getting so frequent that no one can really say anything anymore, but there are still these people turning up, protesting against people saying save our kids, which is crazy.
Yeah. And we've been saying it for years. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, of course. Right. Different subject, but still on the same subject, actually.
We've got precisely 25 minutes left.
That's cool. Let me just get rid of that. Trump's big, beautiful bill. So remember, while we've got this thing going on, the migrant hotel situation, in America they have a very same narrative going on that's involving ICE and rounding up what one side is calling criminals.
They're a stage ahead than we are.
Yeah, and what the other side is calling rounding up innocent people and putting them in concentration camps. Well, and it's probably a bit of both and something in between. So there's a similar thing going on in America. They've had the protests, the riots. And Trump is responding with something called a big, beautiful bill. You heard about this, Indigo?
No, first time. Let's go.
Right. He's funding the largest biometric surveillance build-out in US history, involving AI risk scores, facial recognition, and autonomous towers blanketing highways, all for border security.
Wow.
States can't override biometric privacy laws for 10 years. What else have we got on the right here? The big beautiful bill pumps $2.5 billion into AI-powered surveillance across all federal and major state highways, facial recognition, plate readers, and autonomous surveillance towers, all with 24/7 real-time tracking and data collection. Welcome to MAGA-flavoured control grid. That sounds quite crazy, doesn't it?
Time to get off grid.
Yeah, I agree, but do you know what? I'm going to say something that's going to maybe shock people. Everything that it says on that list is already installed in the UK.
Gosh.
The lamppost.
Drive up the
there, man.
M3. PG, right? I just said something, right? See on the right-hand side on the white. $2.5 billion. Major state highways, facial recognition, plate readers, autonomous surveillance towers, 24/7 real-time tracking and data collection. See the pictures?
Yes, mate. Yes.
What? No, I haven't dropped the bomb yet. That is already fully active in the UK.
Yeah, 100%.
You could drive any motorway, the M3,
That's what I was about to say.
M1.
Yeah. We've got now the cameras. I shared it a couple of weeks ago on my social media. They've got 4 major highways linked up to this now, and they can tell if you're eating in your car, if you've got a seatbelt on, if you're smoking, skinning up.
Yeah,
doing a crack pipe or whatever you want to do when you should have your hands on the wheel. They can tell inside the vehicle now. They can tell they don't need the lines on the road now for the for your speeding and shit. And I think they can go a lot further.
Yeah. Oh no, I've heard about all that. It's all ready to go. So although this sounds scary and it's obviously not good for America, in this respect, we are much further down the road than the US is in the UK. It's much smaller here, much easier to implement this stuff, and we have it almost all over the country, all through the major cities. Just an interesting data entry.
It's
there.
so coincidental that they've been digging up the roads all over the country for the last,
Yeah, it started in the middle of the Soviet Union, didn't it? Just start digging up the roads, just ready for...
I remember, actually, I was driving through Bournemouth in the first lockdown. It was like probably 3 weeks into the first lockdown, and I drove through Lansdowne. It's one of the areas in one of the centres of Bournemouth. And there was people on the roundabouts putting up the new cameras at like each roundabout. They were doing it all at the same time, but there's no cars on the road now. And I was like, what the fuck is this? This is well sketch. And then, lo and behold, we're now in an AI governance.
Indigo, can you hear us?
I'm here.
Yeah, it's cool. We're back. No, yeah, we saw it all being installed, PG.
Yeah,
we watched it happening. Palantir, is that? Are you familiar with the word Palantir?
I'm not. No.
It sounds like Peter Thiel.
Palantir is an AI overseer program that can be deployed for defence, governance. It's basically Skynet. And
say the word again.
Palantir.
Palantir, okay.
Yeah, with a P. And this is what is going to be powering this thing here, the big, beautiful bill. It's powered by Palantir and Peter Thiel.
And Palantir is owned by Peter Thiel, who, if you're not aware of him, he's obsessed with...
It's sort of like Enki Musk's boss.
He's obsessed with not aging and like keeping young and transhumanism.
Eternal life.
Yeah. He's obsessed with
Yeah, he's a proper transhumanist. Yeah. Now, Palantir, check this video out, is about to be implemented in the NHS. Watch this.
All the patient data at this hospital and the rest of the UK are now controlled by an American private data analytics company. It's called Palantir Technologies, founded by the Trump donor Peter Thiel. With funding from the CIA, it now manages the National Health Service's new federated data platform, a system covering 67 million people and rolled out since late 2023. Doctors with the British Medical Association say they fear it could erode public trust.
We're not entirely sure what use this data will be made of. Will it be strictly for the benefit of the patients, or will this be sold on and used for other purposes, such as part of an increasingly draconian surveillance apparatus? So that it is very obscure, and you cannot gain the trust of patients if you cloud things in secrecy.
Doctors have also raised concerns about Palantir's track record. UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in the occupied Palestinian territories, Francesca Albanese, has accused the company of profiting from genocide in Gaza. Here's the company's chief executive officer, Alex Karp, in April this year, admitting that Palantir had helped Israel kill Palestinians in Gaza.
Because you are killing my people and you're justifying it because of Hamas or anyone else.
Can we get security up there? Okay. Mostly terrorists, that's true.
As well as data analytics, Palantir provides artificial intelligence-enabled military targeting systems. The BMA says that is at odds with healthcare ethics. Palantir has dismissed the criticism, saying its software will reduce waiting times and improve efficiency. Critics of the Palantir NHS partnership say this is about more than a piece of software. It's about sovereignty, trust, and whether or not a private American firm with Palestinian blood on its hands should have control of the health data of an entire nation. Saeed Pourreza, Press TV, London.
So let me get this straight, Michael. The people that the system bombs and injures will then have a quicker waiting time because of their other system that's being implemented in the hospital. Is that correct? Have I got that right?
Where they link up the missile with the fucking thing that puts you back together afterwards.
So what they can do, they can send an ambulance to the site, ambulances to the site where when it's on the way. The
ambulance will arrive before the missile.
The missile can talk to the ambulance and make sure it's that they coincide.
Yeah, it'll be amazing.
It sounds moral.
It sounds moral. Yeah. Right. So yeah,
and the average person has another clue about that.
No, they don't have a clue. Imagine that, like the Israeli AI that is used to target Palestinians is also running the NHS.
Wow, that needs to get
And
out
then,
there. That
and
is
then as well,
insane.
like, you've got to think what they're using is rockets and missiles and bombs, right? Things that explode. And, like, you know, I guarantee, I wonder if they do, like, prosthetics as well. I wonder if Palantir does prosthetic limbs.
Of course it does.
So they will
Without
supply
DNA.
you with a new arm and a leg as well.
Yeah,
After their system bombs you, then the Medicare picks you up and treats you, and then it'll strap on a prosthetic, which it also is in the same system and owned by the same dude.
Yeah. Wow.
Who's probably Jewish.
Right, we've got about
Sick game.
10 minutes left. Let's try and end on some positivity before we wrap it up. What do you think the solution is, or what can we do to make ourselves ready for this this weaponized migration and this coming conflict, whether it's going to be some sort of war on the streets or the society falling apart? What's the most important thing we can do as conscious individuals, Indigo?
Apart from what lies above.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a complex question, but exactly, start to educate yourself. But first of all, for me, a spiritual response to that would be recognizing that the duality in everything that's happening. Yeah, that's why they're trying to draw us into the duality, police, migrants. When you can recognize the duality, you can rise above, and then you can become the observer. And now we, the three of us, I feel, are observing. And when you're in observer mode, you're no longer drawn into the theater.
Yeah.
When you're in observer mode, then you can start to do things to keep your vibration as high as possible. Then naturally you start to find your soul tribe. You'll start to find opportunities to move onto land, become like a world packer. Like you start to learn about the birth certificate. You start to learn how the police actually don't really have power. If you simply say no, you don't give them your name. When you start to empower yourself, in Buddhism there's something called Esho Funi, which means the self and the environment are always reflecting. So when you purify yourself, the environment starts to purify, and that's how we start to contribute towards like the ripple effect and changing this world. So that would be the first thing I would say, like rising above the duality of this, because otherwise you're going to be like Palestine or, you know, don't take this medicine, and you get lost in it, and all of that is loose energy, and that keeps you in your lower chakras. But it's not to dismiss what's happening, but also to admit that a lot of the stuff we're seeing in Palestine is actually old footage from Syria from 10 years ago. There's a lot of manipulation, there's a lot of AI. So we can't be emotionally attached to everything, and start to know yourself, start to detach from what your parents think or what your girlfriend thinks or your sexuality, or if I'm a white man or a black man, what do I have, like, what do you want to do? And then start to just do that, have the courage to do that. And even if it means your whole family think you're the black sheep, to me, that is Jesus returning. That's Christ consciousness. That is the shift, when each individual starts to have the courage to be our authentic self.
I think personally that is fantastic advice, and that's something which I totally agree with and try and embody as well. That's very rise above. That's very Ramish, as we would say around here.
Very Ramish.
Yeah. So we 100%. Yeah. RA is short for rise above. So we've often said, if we were going to be a breakaway civilization and like you say, rise above and observe and not get caught into the theatre, we would be called the Ramish community.
We think we're most akin to the Amish.
Yeah, without being fundamental Christians and wearing stupid hats.
On an ideological sense, with like the fact that you don't want anything to do with the system as much as is possible for you, wherever you are.
So, Indigo, you've been an awesome guest, and we definitely have you on again because you're just a great third voice on the show, to be honest.
Well, I was actually going to ask Indigo if he's free for our weekender.
I was going to ask as well, but I've clocked he's already got his own event. You've got a camp out going on at the same weekend, haven't you?
The 22nd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Running my little festival going on. So this is amazing. We're doing the work, man, together, you know, and it's incredible. But we'll definitely cross paths and do something for sure.
Yeah. We're both you know, our collective and yourself, we're both trying to bring the community together as well as doing stuff online. But if people want to see more of your stuff online, where is the best place to see it?
Just search for me basically on all social network platforms. Just Indigo Child, but with 2 O's. So it's like Indigo Child.
Indigo Child.
Yeah.
So you're mainly on Insta, aren't you?
Instagram, TikTok, Indigo Child 27 on TikTok, and then YouTube. I have my own YouTube, Indigo Child.
And you're posting videos quite often, just running commentary. You're breaking down what's happening and stuff like that.
Sometimes I'll go weeks and I'm posting stuff. Sometimes I don't. It's all just intuitive, and I always make sure that I'm never doing it for ego. I make sure that I'm doing it because I'm trying to respond to something. Like there's something that's happening, and and so therefore I'm going to do it. Like if I personally get trapped into I need to do this every day, then I'm really trying to just be in flow right now.
We should take a leaf out of that.
Yeah, no, yeah. I was literally just thinking that's
take a page out of his playbook.
That's actually a very good ethos. We sort of carved our little space by having the Friday night show, and we used to do this every week. Sometimes we would do a 6-hour stream every week, week in, week out, and it takes a lot. And then if you're in a pattern, in a routine, it's not so organic.
No.
And that's why we do every other week now, because we want to keep it more organic and we want to enjoy it more and be fresher. So yeah, I want to thank you very much for joining us. Get Indigo Child on Insta, TikTok, YouTube.
Awesome talking to you tonight, Indigo, mate. Thanks for coming on.
It's been an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you very much for joining us, and rise above, bro.
Thank you. More life.
Rise above, generation.
Speak soon, fam. Okay.
Wow, great guest.
No, amazing
I think
guest.
He might be one of my new faves.
New faves, yeah. We'll definitely chat to him again.
He's very knowledgeable, and he likes Mark Passio.
Yeah, and we had a lot of slides. I don't think we scratched the surface tonight. We could talk about a lot. No, just before we go. Oh yeah, right. Before I do the obvious announcements, I need to say something. I was going to do a little miniature talk expose on the subject of this tonight. Unfortunately, we didn't get time. Now, this group, The Shield, I'll just say very quickly, have come to prominence recently because they're trying to form like this street action group against some of the things we've been talking about tonight, i.e. the predatory behaviour, the violence against women and the degeneracy on the streets and stuff like that.
Quite obvious, like governmental psyops.
So, in a nutshell, there's a lot to talk about with this group. I've had a dig on it, and I'm not going to do it in 5 minutes right now. You're going to have to come on Patreon to see what I've found.
Word to you now, Michael.
So, yeah, Patreon, it's only £3, guys, and we're putting all of the extra saucy material on there that probably isn't suitable for YouTube. It's very saucy on Patreon.
Again, shout out to my man Nick Griffin.
Yeah, we even did an evening with, although he wasn't physically here,
a 3-hour presentation.
The dude that everyone was told us was a proper racist, that Nick Griffin, and we actually listened to what he had to say, and it was very interesting. That's the kind of stuff we do on Patreon. We've been looking at fucking all types of extremism and breaking it down. So yeah, I'm going to do the expose on there because this is very interesting. I've got lots of slides and videos as well.
Because, all very Ramesh.
Yeah, we'll do this on Wednesday night. Yeah. So apart from that, what else do I need to say? We've given away 4 tickets for the event tonight. Tickets are still available. They start only £15 or £50 if you want the whole shebang. And there is a lot going on at the Weekender. Talks, nightly after parties, some big names. We've got stalls with like artisan wares and Ramesh products that you can buy, support the community.
Let's be honest, guys, if you're not there...
You're a little punk, bitch, insecure, button-dicked little boy.
Okay.
You heard it here first. So get your tickets to the Weekender, and then you can come and party with us in real life. Me and Andy PG get stuck in. You'll see us. You'll see me at the bar on Friday night, getting pissed, buying everyone Greek takeaway.
That's awesome.
Yeah, come and see us at the Rise Above Weekender.
Remember, I've told you guys many times.
And don't forget, we are back live next week with a special presentation from none other than Human Vibration. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. So,
and she's bringing the Reich.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the saucy topic. I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know. Right. I guess it's time to say word to your nan.
Word to your nan, Lars.
And